Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Blade Runner role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is Electric Dreams. It was written by Tomas Härenstam and Joe LeFavi, and we have used some of the artwork of Martin Grip and Gustaf Ekelund. This scenario comes from the Blade Runner starter set, and it's available from Free League Publishing. Our game runner is John Dos Passos, and this is episode 3. A recap will be given by Dr. Lex Hurley as his character, Olsen Bacher. So, without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Lex?
Thank you, Tom. Computer, log incident report. Reporting Officer Bacher, Olsen, pursuant of LAPD case number 45982. Date, May 19th to the 20th, 2037. Following crime scene investigation at the Snake Pit Club and medical examination of murder victim SN9-1.48 Sandor, which confirmed he was shot in the back at point-blank range with a caseless 10mm bullet. The same used an LAPD-issued PKD 5000 sidearms, which, notably, are standard issue for N9 Blade Runners. Our missing officer, LH3-7.93 Leia, quickly became our prime murder suspect in this investigation. Our team split up to cover more ground with officers Novak and JL2-7.80 Percival to meet Wallace Representative Quell at their request. It's my understanding that the meeting went about as well as could be expected, and they regrouped with some potential leads for the case. And during this time, Officer FN9-2.39 Fenna and I questioned a known supplier of under-the-table runner equipment. We determined that Leia is still active in the area and purchased additional 10mm caseless ammunition the morning of the 19th. So at least we have a window to check exterior Esper cams. But other than that, the trip was a dead end. Our team met back at the tower and decided to push on to get this case wrapped up. Percival wanted to rest, but we badgered him into accompanying me to investigate Leia's apartment. The incident in question occurred in the hallway outside the apartment when a heavily intoxicated male began slinging derogatory replicant terms toward Officer Percival and approaching with apparent aggressive intent. I stepped between the two to defuse the situation, at which point the assailant assaulted me. I responded in self-defense, allowing my OWCD training to incapacitate the assailant without discharging my firearm, albeit suffering injuries in the process. I managed to recover some DNA evidence from the assailant in the event LAPD wishes to press charges for assaulting an officer. After the situation was diffused, Percival and I gained entry to Leia's apartment, where we discovered a poetry book open to The Tiger by William Blake, and curiously a photograph of an apparently young image of Leia with a stamp reading Doc Badger on the back. Not much else inside the apartment besides empty bottles and a jar of butterflies. During this time, Fenna and Novak were questioning our suspect in custody and discovered that part of Wallace's reconditioning efforts involved implanting new traumatic memories into reps, like having a Skinner box in their brains, and associates of Styles are currently working to secure Leia passage off Computer, delete that last statement. Additionally, I advise caution against pressuring replicant officers into overtime shifts, as on the drive back from Leia's apartment, Officer Percival seemed to collapse from mental fatigue or exhaustion and began muttering about memories of a small girl that he couldn't save named Leia. After a little Southern hospitality, he seemed to recover and is resting now. This is likely a one-off event, and I do not recommend him for a baseline test following this incident. Bacher signing off.
Awesome. Thank you. So after some downtimes, a little bit of sleep, perhaps for some other rest and relaxation of other kinds for those that cannot find sleep upon this night. And then we return to everyone the next morning. And I believe you're all heading to Novak's, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So you've all planned a rendezvous at William Novak's, and I'm gonna roll something for randomness. Okay. So Fenna, on the way in, as you are walking up to go into William Novak's building, you see on a newsstand a edition of Kill magazine that sort of jumps, kind of like jumps at you when your eyes catch it, because you see the words "Massacre on Nightclub Row."
I'll pick it up. Sure. All the news that's fit to kill. Sure. Massacre on Nightclub Row. Replicant killer on the run. When a guard dog you never have to feed.
And the new pocket-sized heartbreaker, and check out the new Ender assault rifle.
Yeah. Is there anything substantial in the article that is anything that lights on something we hadn't gleaned from the scene?
No. It seems that the indication from KILL is that they seem to think that an N9 replicant killed somebody on Nightclub Row and is on the run, and that seems to be that is the official story. Or
Kill magazine was produced by the supremacists, right?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, KILL magazine, which is run by Jerry Schuyler.
I mean, there's a kernel of truth in it, right? Leia killed Sandor, but also they probably would have framed it on a replicant regardless.
And apparently 1 equals a massacre now.
Yes, of course. Although, I don't particularly care to talk to Mr. Schuyler at all, but he was there. Although I don't think there's anything else that can be gleaned from digging into that, right? We know what happened.
What if we don't? What if we think we know what happened, but we don't have enough information yet? And maybe the supremacists, they'll have their own spin on what happened.
Right.
But
well, Inspector, if that's what you would like to do, I think probably Percival and myself should.
It's one of those things where you want to at least
conversation.
Yeah, follow up all the leads. That might be an important lead. I don't think it's going to be. I think that we know what happened, but
Mr. Schuyler's obviously observant. If he saw Leia shoot Sandor,
yeah,
there might be other details that we haven't learned from. I don't know. Maybe he's worth talking to.
Yeah, I guess I could follow up on that. Although I don't think, in this case, I should take Percival.
No, neither myself nor Percival should accompany you.
Right. So, Olsen. Has everybody arrived?
Yeah, I'm assuming so. We're all talking at this point. It's your apartment, so.
I made breakfast. I don't know what you have for breakfast in this day and age, but it ain't real eggs.
Yeah, I was going to say, synth eggs.
I was assuming instant noodles, but synth eggs sound much
synth
nicer.
eggs and
fake bacon.
Yeah, like mushroom bacon, completely lab grown. Almost tastes like the real thing.
Are we getting into the Protein Farms era?
Way cheaper than synth pig.
Real stuff, yeah, sure.
Real stuff.
Doesn't exist anymore.
They say you're gonna become what you eat. So we're all going to turn into synth. Well, half of us already are.
Oh, thank you for the breakfast, Detective. That's very kind of you. My head's pounding. Becker gave me a little bit too much of a cure, I think.
I was going to ask how you're doing.
I'm considerably better. It's rough though. I've never had something like that happen to me before.
Well, none of us have had any of this. This case is proving to be enlightening.
Yeah. Well, we're still in agreement that our priority is just finding Leia, right? That's the goal.
Yeah, but she might be off world by now.
What is our goal anymore? We let Styles go. Obviously, we don't feel conflicted about Leia's exodus. So what is our goal anymore?
Styles didn't do anything.
Are we trying to stop Leia? That's my question. Are we stopping her?
I think we have to, because the law is you can't murder somebody.
Yeah, I think we need to at least talk to her.
Whatever her motives were, she still did end somebody's life.
And here's a question, being now that we know what we know now about their reconditioning of the Nines, should we just offer to retire her and at least give her some pride?
Well, I don't know.
If we can't let her go.
Yeah, if it's her decision, it's not ours to make.
The thing is that if we want this all to come to light, what Wallace is doing, then she's our primary witness.
This is never coming to light.
You
can scream from the top of LAPD tower. This is never going to see the light of day.
That's a shame.
And I, myself and Percival may be in some degree of danger if it's decided that N9s are too unstable.
Yeah, last night got weird. I need to decide whether I'm running away from everything or if I'm getting back on the track that I thought was the only one.
Or, Fenna, Percy, tell me if would there be any way we could convince Wallace Leia went rogue because of these implanted memories? You two are very stable because your brains are not torturing you. At minimum, we could ensure that no one else has to go through this.
Yeah, I mean, we would have to talk to Quell. I think that's our way in. I have no idea how much of a heart we would find in that company.
But I don't want to approach Quell until we have the entire deck up our sleeves. I think if we just propose them with an idea, we may not get let out of the building.
Yeah. I mean, we need her testimony. We need her to be the one to say them.
And Novak makes the valid point that murder is still murder. Murder is punishable by law. So we need to deal with that.
But retirement.
Retirement is state-sanctioned murder.
Yeah, retirement with pre-approval. Different.
That's what is going. I have no doubt, gentlemen, excuse me, Becker. This is the fate that we are resigning Leia to. Either we retire her ourselves, or she is retired by the Wallace Corporation, because they're not going to continue allowing her existence, as unstable as she's proven to be.
Right.
I'll also point out, again, she is going to be very armed. It's one thing to dive into a foxhole. It's another whenever that fox just replenished all their ammo earlier yesterday morning.
We should look into that. Didn't the cameras, right, Backer?
Yeah, that's Bob gave us an approximate time.
Well,
Percy, do you think you can look at Espers?
I'm curious what would be a better use of time, because we can look at the cab records as well, so we could see where she went to after the night, or we could get a new photo and pursue that one from there.
Do you think you could do both of those on a single shift?
Remember that accessing the Esper wall and searching for something on footage is a tech roll. You can do that without spending a shift. But if you go to the Esper wall and spend a shift there, you get advantage on the tech roll to find what you're looking for.
Okay, yeah, I could just do it on my phone while we're going somewhere else.
Percy, pay attention.
But I think we do need to look into the cab records too. We need to know where she is.
Yeah, because I can get us a new set of plates, find out if it's the same cab, but yeah, where she went after the club, and how where she came from to the gun shop and where she went to afterwards is all very valuable.
And Olson and I will end up talking to the
Schuyler.
Yeah.
Well, before we were talking about connections on the streets, and Detective, you said that you had an old acquaintance that might be helpful as well. Is that worth
I'm
pursuing?
not exactly sure what good he can do. He's
Okay.
He's another Blade Runner, but he's kind of functions on his own rules, which makes him just a little bit. He's probably got a lot of underworld connections, and I don't think that he'd be. I think that he'd be more connected in getting in stopping them from getting off the planet.
I think I'd like to look into the name on that photograph from Leia's apartment.
Doc Badger.
Yeah, I'm curious if it's just somebody from the memory lab itself.
Yeah. Do you think that's the one that puts the Skinner box upstairs?
Well, the memory lab is for sure. Yeah, is there an easy way for us to research Doc Badger? Would we have to access the LAPD database, or could we just search for it?
What are you looking for on Doc Badger?
Just identity.
Who is Doc Badger?
Yes.
Yeah, information.
I mean, if you ask around, it's pretty common knowledge. Doc Badger's been around. Or wait, yeah, not everyone knows about Doc Badger, but if you ask around the station enough and with your contacts, you're able to get back that he's a pawn shop owner. Got a bit of a reputation for being able to get anything for the right price. Claims he can get real animals. At least that's the rumor on the street.
What does Doc Badger have to do with this photograph?
And he has a pawn shop.
Very strange.
He has a pawn shop in Sector 5.
Yeah,
and so there's so you're able to you have the address, then it's the business is registered in his name and everything.
Okay. Yeah, I had assumed that he was somebody that worked at the memory lab. That's very interesting.
Was the photograph it just a handwritten note, Doc Badger on the back? Was it an official?
A stamp,
it was a
stamp
or something?
As if it was made or printed by him.
That is very strange. Okay. Yeah, that's worth looking into.
Yeah, so we have the supremacists, Doc Badger. The memory lab I don't think is really worth pursuing if we wanted to see what nightmares she had, but there's no real use. I'm satisfied just knowing it was bad.
Do you think we could hamstring Wallace? If Badger's making props to reinforce their nightmares?
That's an interesting thought. I don't know if Wallace and Doc Badger are connected, or if Leia found Doc Badger separately, from her own pursuits.
But then why would she have a picture of child self?
I have a cat. Do I know Doc Badger? I mean, an animoid cat.
No.
Okay.
Well, how would I go about looking at the cab records? Would I have to go to their office or something?
You'd have to go to the Metro Cab Dispatch, yeah.
Okay. Because I think that's probably the most useful information we could get. I'm not too sure that I would be able to successfully accomplish that, though. If it involves talking to people, I kind of trip over my words.
I mean, that's up to you. Not every social interaction requires a social role.
Sometimes it involves melee combat.
Yeah, not good at that either.
So there was also somebody mentioned just hitting the street, leveraging assets. You could try to do that, you'd basically do a connections roll after a shift of time, and that could get you a number. It could get you a number of things depending on the successes. Corgi, one of the assets down at LAPD, one of the sort of basically informants, could also give you some info if you wanted to give him a call.
I've got a quick question.
Sure.
Doc Badger is written in pencil on the back.
It's stamped.
It's stamped.
It's
yeah. That's why I think it's very
stamped.
strange. I'm gonna go look into it.
Yeah. So did Doc Badger? Yeah, like you say, is it a prop? Did he give her the photograph?
Seems like you made it close to a maker's mark as you could find.
Mm-hmm.
Why would?
I think as a reminder to drill the screws in more. I mean, Percy has his little bird, but I don't.
That doesn't have a Doc Badger stamp on it, does it?
But you said he runs a pawn
Unfold
shop.
the origami.
You said he runs a pawn shop? Is that what I heard you say?
Correct. He owns a pawn shop in Sector 5.
Yeah, I can't make the connection there. That's why I really want to track this down. It's a strange thing.
Yeah, that seems like it might be that we're missing a piece of the puzzle there. So
would it be out of the ordinary that someone would use a pawn shop as a cover? I mean, shit, we busted several noodle bars that were just running drugs behind.
Well,
Explains why they sucked.
Let's think about the order of events. She either went there or he approached her. Somehow they got together and he gave her a photograph, or she requested a photograph?
Or... Well, Becker suggested that he might be in cahoots with Wallace, which if they're
artifacts.
If Wallace is implanting traumatic memories, then having some traumatic memory of an innocent childhood that was ruined, then giving them a memento of that innocent childhood before they made some decision that made it go up in flames to torment them.
Why would you go there to get? Okay, I guess we're missing. We're definitely missing.
We're missing some information.
Yeah. So it seems to me the three most important things that we should go after are Doc Badger, the human supremacists, and dang, I forgot the third thing I was going to list.
Leia's like last note, where the cab dropped off Leia, right?
Yeah, yep, cab records. Those three seem like the most important to me. And I'm feeling a little listless.
Sorry, wait, so cab records,
Doc Badger,
human supremacists.
Doc Badger, human supremacists.
Deli Tyler.
Yeah.
And there's another one as well.
Well, those are the three that I think are important.
You've already mentioned it tonight. That's why I mentioned there's a fourth one too. Do you remember what that was?
Like Corgi and the street connections?
Well, there's that, but there was another lead that was already mentioned.
All right.
Something you guys found earlier that you said you would check up on.
Yeah, help me out.
Go ahead. You can make an intelligence roll if you want. Just to remember this in the middle of the morning over your coffee.
All of us are
Docker's hungover, so yeah.
If you feel like your character has a chance of thinking, just roll just your intelligence and tell me if you get a 6 or higher.
I got a 4.
I got an 8.
All right, Olsen, you remember? There was also Bob's Runner Supplies that Leia was at that you could check the Esper footage of. Because you asked about the cameras there, and
I think that was all lumped into one, like looking into where Leia was, like that's all kind of like.
So you could check the cameras, the Esper cameras for outside Bob's Runner Supplies.
Okay. Right. My intention was to figure out where we were physically going, and I wanted to just do that on the car ride because I'm not going to go to the wall for it.
All right. So who's going to go where? And you can check up Esper footage without going to the wall, without using a shift if you want to do that as well, on top of everything else.
So there's 4 of us, and we want to go to 3 different locations, and I don't feel a strong calling to any of them. I can accompany whoever.
Well, we're going to have to go to the supremacists ourselves. We can't bring a replicant.
Yeah, no, we shouldn't go with you.
I could go.
Backer, your known temper with human supremacists, though. I'm not quite sure that you should accompany Inspector Novak either.
I mean, if you want me to look up the Esper cameras, I'll probably be just about as useful there.
Well,
I'm gonna go talk with Doc Badger.
Wilson, why don't
If
you
anyone
go
wants
with,
to join me, they're
with
welcome.
Fenna? And I can handle the supremacists.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
okay. Well,
Jolly Schuyler?
yeah.
That's
I
still got 9
could spend
more
my
ribs.
time. Oh, yeah, I could try to spend my time looking up the Esper footage without going to the wall and then talking to Corgi. Did I get that right? Like the dog, Corgi?
Yes, his name is Corky. Yeah, you could go
Okay.
talk to him or give him a call.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean I could still go with somebody somewhere else if I'm just doing everything on my phone.
Yeah. On your KIA.
I wouldn't say go with Novak, but you can come with
Yeah.
us if you like Percival. If you want
I mean,
him.
yeah, and then I mean if I'm going with Fenna, like it's up to Backer because yeah, you're not too friendly with the human supremacist, but if things get bad, like you two might want to have each other's
You might
backs.
find answers on the other end of your fist. Who knows?
I don't know.
So-
Fenna's a lot better at talking. I'm there for whenever talking doesn't work. I think this is going to work out just fine.
Okay. Then the three of us will stick together and Novak splitting off alone.
And it almost as if timed on cue, as you are beginning to go into your groups, as you're starting to head out, Novak is held up as he gets a call on his vid phone. It says whatever you have Deputy Chief David Holden in your phone as in your vid phone as.
I'm sorry, say that again.
It's whatever you have the Deputy Chief David Holden listed at is in your phone. That's what it says.
Our boss.
Okay. Yeah, I'll answer.
It says, Detective Novak.
Yes, this is Novak. How can I help you?
Have you seen the magazine today?
Yes, I was just shown it by Fenna.
Remember what I told you during the briefing about Wallace breathing down our necks on this one?
Mm-hmm.
They're not happy about the story.
I can't help that. I'm not a writer for Kill Magazine. We told them to keep their mouths shut, but what can we do? I am actually heading over there right now for this very same reason.
Haven't you all done enough with them already?
No, we're all over the place on this investigation.
Wait, hold on. You did. How did they find out if they didn't hear from you?
Well, I haven't talked to them yet.
All right, get to the bottom of this. All right, Wallace is giving me a torrential shitstorm right now.
Yeah, well, we got to talk about that at some other time of what's going on there. I don't trust a thing that Wallace is up to.
Okay, and that.
I need you to back me up on this. So,
back you up against Wallace.
We might have to.
Listen, you might want to put a bullet in your career. I do not. So I'm gonna pass on that one. Thank you, Novak.
We'll talk later. Click.
Yeah, we will.
Head over to.
All right.
What a mess. When we start deciding that our careers are more important than the general public, we've gone way down the tubes. People's lives are at stake here.
I feel like that may be why you haven't gotten promoted in a while, Novak.
Yeah. I'd like to be retired at this point, but
careful what you wish for.
As you'd like to be retired, that's
Are we still doing phrasing?
I didn't mean that word in that context.
Or did you? All right. So the three of you, where are the three of you gonna head first?
Doc Badger.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
the
Badger's
store.
Pawn Shop, and Novak's heading towards the Kill office.
Kill office.
Could we
K-I-L-L,
drop Percy off at the cab if you're going to be running the records there? Or do you want to
Sounded
just
like
come
he
with
could
us?
do it from his phone.
Well, you can do
Well-
everything else from your phone, but to get the info on the cab, you would need to go to the Metro Cab dispatch.
Got it.
Which, yeah, sure. I might as well.
All right.
Okay.
On
I'll
the
go-
ride though, I'd like to try to look at the Esper on my phone, just like the simple
Sure,
version.
we can start with that then. So as they are giving you the ride over, you go ahead and you scroll through a lot of the Esper footage from outside Bull Bob's Runner Supplies in the nearby area. It looks like. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, feel free to correct me if you're doing something else. But yeah, you're able to spool through, and after some sifting through, you do find a camera on the street outside Bob's Runner Supplies a little bit, and it spots Leia entering and then also exiting the shop very early in the morning. When she leaves the shop, you can see that she heads down an alleyway and towards a big old building. There's a number of buildings, but only one of them on the cameras looks like it isn't bolted shut.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. Hey guys, look at this. I hold up my phone. She didn't get back in a cab. She walked down the street.
You think she's squatting there?
It's possible.
I
she
did
knows
ask,
someone.
but yeah, the guy seemed to think it was a lot of places to squat around the area. So.
Yeah, well, I think it was this place. Show you the building.
Because it seems she walked down that alleyway, and that's the only building that you can really get into. You're not sure if she just went through the building or if she was staying there, but you know that she went there.
Yeah, somebody probably knows her if she isn't there herself. So yeah, that's cool.
And then you wanted to give Corgi a call, right?
Yeah. So, well, actually, so what would we be calling him about? Just try to find a contact on the streets that might know people?
Yeah, let me pull up Corgi's thing here.
That would know the NA group that Styles was a part of.
Yeah. Yeah, say that we found evidence leading towards some kind of movement that's getting people off world, sneaking them out.
Basically, so Corgi is one of the LAPD assets, that one of the LAPD, especially the Reptitech unit. Corgi's expertise is criminal underworld. Basically, the story sort of goes that as anarchy sort of swept up the streets and impoverished struggled for basic necessities, some organized crime stepped up as peacekeepers and began running essential goods and services through the now prevalent bazaars. As one of Hawker Circle's beloved black market suppliers, manufacturers, Corgi is plugged into every corner of the criminal underworld. And a heart defect actually hampered his dreams of becoming a Blade Runner. So being an informant is his way of helping out and wearing a badge. In his own way. So if you want to give him a call, he can he can look into things for you.
Yeah, well, so this feels kind of like a decision. What do you two think? Like, because we just let Styles walk. Do we want to to call someone and tell them to start shaking that bush?
We know that she's due for an outbound flight sometime, somewhere. If we can find the organization and find out when their next attempt to shuttle someone off-world may be, that can at least tell us where Leia might be. And if we can head her off, if she's not still squatting at this old ruin.
Yeah. And we'll just phrase it as N8s trying to smuggle their own out.
I wouldn't even go that far, because I think we'd be obligated to retire everyone present if we mentioned that they're N8s. Maybe just frame it in terms of looking into some smuggling by this organization, perhaps. Maybe just like human cargo, even, to try and narrow it down some more.
Yeah.
But Fenna, what do you think?
I mean,
Go ahead, Percival. I'm thinking.
I was just gonna say, I would feel more comfortable with you taking the callbacker for that kind of delicate phrasing.
Oh, that is the first time anyone has ever said that to me.
This is definitely out of my wheelhouse. Trying to double cross but stay discreet. This is very strange.
Hey, when you need to get somebody to cross a conversational minefield, somebody with experience crossing a minefield might be good.
Mm-hmm.
What if you, Ricky, what if you framed it like you were trying to get a ride, Percival?
To the guy that works at LAPD?
Oh, sorry, shit. I forgot he's on the LAPD payroll.
Yeah, that's
no,
why
yeah,
it's
right.
well, that's why I'm hesitating.
You're right.
Did Styles' group have a name that they mentioned specifically? I know Backer's part of the replicant rights movement. Would it be part of them, or how could I indicate the general group without name dropping?
The replicant rights movement is the larger movement, like the societal movement that is advocating for their rights. The aggressive, not caring about the law arm of that movement is the replicant underground.
Okay.
They are connected, but it's more like a circles or squares and rectangles type thing.
Like an extremist group?
Yeah, like almost pretty much the entirety of the Replicant Underground is a part of the Replicants' Rights Movement. But the Replicants' Rights Movement is the entire movement. It's mostly focused on peaceful protest and like actual societal reform, while the Upper Underground, the Replicant Underground is like, we'll blow up a store if it means we get replicants out of the city. We don't give a shit if it takes violent crime. The rights activists try to abide by the law.
I may have a name that you can drop to use. I had asked Styles about the first partner I had with LAPD. She just disappeared, fell off the face of the earth, and just recently found out that's quite literal. She took a ride and got off planet. The LAPD looked into her and where she had gone, because she had just disappeared while investigating, and nothing ever came up. But like, as I said, Styles said that she hitched a ride. You might be able to drop her name in order to get more information, because she was an LAPD employee. You could say this is a continuation of the investigation into her disappearance. You have strong reason to believe that she was taken off planet.
That's a great idea, because if Styles knew, but you and the LAPD didn't, Corgi isn't likely to know. So we can frame it as trying to hunt this down. Do you
She's not
remember
a rep,
the name?
So it doesn't necessarily point at reps in general. So,
but we can say we suspect that they're the ones shuttling folks off world.
Right.
Do you have a name that I can use?
Yeah, Udaya, Rada Udaya. She was.
Could you put that in chat, please?
I certainly can.
I'm looking for Hymenoptera.
All right, so you're able to drop Percy off at the Metrocab dispatch. Do you want to make a call to Corgi on the while you're on the way to the pawn shop?
Sure. Well, Percy, did you still want the Metro Cab dispatch if we know where she went, where Leia went?
I think it would still be useful, yeah. Like,
Okay.
I don't have like in my notes the cab like plate number, but Percival remembers it, right, John?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You've got the photo. You've got the enhanced
Yeah.
photo.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah, great.
As we're dropping Percy off, Bakker's going to lean out the window and hand him a pocket flask and just say, in case it happens again.
You're a real sweetheart. Thank you.
All right, that's 2 firsts in one day. Great. Let's call this Corgi.
Hey, it's Corgi. What can I do for you?
Hey, Corgi, listen, we're looking into an old case, missing officer Rado Daya. We have reason to suspect that Replicant Underground is ferrying folks off-world. If you have any idea, any connections around in there that we can try and shake some bushes.
Sure. Yeah. Give me a few minutes. Let me see what I can do. Go ahead and make me a connections roll, and you can have Fenna's advantage from the name drop.
Okay. Fenna, what is yours? I hope it's better than a D6.
No. The connection, the empathy to go with it is much higher, but the connections itself is still only a D6.
What is the connections dice?
My connection is a D6.
Okay. So add an extra D6.
Okay. So that would be, just so I'm understanding the rules right, that would be a D8 for empathy and then 2D6 for advantage on connections.
Well, one D6 and then then Fenna's D6 is the extra one from connections.
Okay, so you don't do the base skill and then the specific one all the time. Got it.
Well, it's just that when you do an advantage, you get the lesser of the two that the person's giving you for help action. So let's you roll 3 dice instead of 2.
I got a 4 and a 6.
All right. So just one success?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll take it.
So Corgi doesn't know much about the Replicant Underground. However, there are reports that well, first of all, that you can confirm that there is Replicant Underground activity. One person that's rumored to be a member of the Replicant Underground is Styles, and so you are given the name Styles in his description.
I feigned shock.
And he's often seen at the Snake Pit and around Animoid Row. Also, notably, none of the gangs have anything to do with this.
Okay.
The disappearance of Udana or the Snake Pit shooting. So it's definitely not a gang hit.
Sure. So at least narrows it down some.
Do I know what case Udaya was working when she disappeared? Is that common knowledge?
Yes. She was working the case of a missing Nexus 8 replicant, a service model. It was believed that she was perhaps kidnapped, and that's the investigation that she was working on when she disappeared.
I mean, I'll share that with Olsen for what it's worth.
All right. Cool. I think now we will cut over to Novak, who is arriving at the KILL Kill magazine offices. Looks like this is actually all the way over in Sector 1. Of course, Jelly Schuyler is, known as leading member of the anti-replicant empathy movement, and spends, most of his time over in Sector 1. Definitely a bit of a workaholic. It is a rather, crummy kind of smoke-filled, dimly lit office. Magazine covers of the magazine itself sort of plaster the walls as you walk in. How would you like to approach?
Well, does it look private or public? Is it something you can just walk into?
It looks like you can just walk in. The magazine office is public. You probably can't just walk right into his office, but you can definitely get inside the building.
Okay. I'll walk in and I'll say if there's somebody at the counter,
Yeah.
or I'll say I'm Detective Novak of the LAPD. Is it possible for me to speak to Mr. Schuyler?
Yeah. Sure. Let me see if he's busy. The guy, the secretary gets up, walks back, goes behind. There's a few minutes that go by. He comes back. He says, "Yeah, you can go ahead back."
Thank you. And as I'm going, I'm kind of looking around to see if I can get a feel for the place. Is this an actual print shop? I don't know what are there presses here, or
no, the magazine's printed at a printing facility nearby.
Okay.
It looks like this is mostly just the office of the magazines, the editing office, and sort of their public sort of liaising space.
Are there a lot of people or just a few?
No, there's just a couple, about a dozen or so people that work in the sort of, like I said, the very, kind of cramped, smoke-filled, dimly lit office. And as you walk back, you can see the kind of rather slimy looking sort of figure that is Jilly Schuyler. There's an image in Discord I put if you want to look. He's definitely older man, got moles and things like that. Definitely not somebody that is really caring about how his he's not somebody that he really cares about how he looks or smells or things like that very clearly.
Sure.
And as you enter, he says, "What can I do for you?"
Well, Mr. Schuyler, my name is Detective Novak from the LAPD.
You one of them rep detects?
I mean, I've done that occasionally. Yeah, I noticed the article in the newspaper in your magazine this morning.
Oh yeah, you work in the case?
Well, I'm a detective, so I'm following up any leads. If you don't mind me asking, can you tell me your side of the story? What happened? What'd you see?
I mean, you read the article, didn't you?
Yeah, but I'd like to get it from your mouth directly. Maybe there's stuff you don't publish.
I mean, no, I put it all right in there. I mean, that's what we're all about down here, is telling the brutal hard truth. The truth that could kill, eh? But hey, so yeah, I mean, I was there. I was there at the night of the shooting. I was drinking, watching those useless skin jobs dancing on stage, and this, the whole brawl erupted when this big albino fella started to argue with me and my friends. I think his name's Styles. I've seen him around the row. During the brawl.
I take notes.
Okay, yeah. He's like during the brawl, right? The two Blade Runners, they intervened, right? The man pulled out his blaster on the albino, right? Okay, to arrest him. And then out of nowhere, the female Blade Runner pulls out her gun and shoots him. And I'm thinking, what the hell's going on here, right? And then, she ran into the street and got out of there. And I'm pretty sure I saw her get into a Metro cab. And you know what? I have seen her before. That was what's crazy. She often came to the Snake Pit to drink. She was a regular there.
Did she?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Interesting. So, do you have any theories about what you think was going on?
I mean, I got no idea. I mean, it's better back and forth. Look, there's no wall of suits nearby, but I mean, shit, that's replicants going bonkers. I mean, it's not a new thing. Maybe Neandor is not the prodigy he thinks he is.
I mean, you could very well be correct. I don't know. I'm just collecting facts. So you're pretty well connected here, yeah, with things that are going on in the city.
Yeah, got my finger on the pulse, as they say.
Well, what does your finger say? What do you? I don't know. What do you think's going on with these skin jobs, as you call them?
I mean, skin jobs are unstable. That's what it always has been. They're not like us. They lose it after a certain point. And Neandor and Wallace, they want to say, oh, the N9s are different. We blah 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 blah. They're perfect. It's a skin job's a skin job, buddy. And this is exactly as evident. All right, this is an N9. And she went bonkers. All right, she's out there. She's got she's got a blaster. She's probably got a spinner. She's got all these resources that we gave her to hunt fucking skin jobs, and now she's a skin job killing people with it.
So, if you were a skin job like her, what would you be doing right now? Do you think?
What kind of question is? I don't know. How can I think like a skin job? I'm not a skin job. I got flesh and bone and blood. The real stuff. Not that came out of a genetic bioengineering bag.
If you were a fugitive, such as her, where do you think a detective should look for somebody like that? You got any ideas? You're connected. Where do you think these people congregate? I mean, mostly I've hunted X8s, Nexus 8s.
All right. I mean, I've already given you some info. Listen, if you want me to do your job for you got to make it a little worth my while, huh? Little chin yen, grease the wheels.
All right. Can spare some chin yen.
All right. Let me see let me take a look at my office over here. Let me take a look at my file cabinet. Well, I'll tell you what. If I had a way of getting off this rock, I'd take it. Other than that, she's got to be bunkered down somewhere. I mean, shit. She killed a replicant and a member of the LAPD. I don't know how you can get more people on your ass at once. I'm not gonna lie.
That's true. Frankly, we don't exactly know where to find her. We're trying to find her. But we're following up all the leads just because we're there's a lot of when you step out that door, you walk away, you can go anywhere. We're making sure that she doesn't get off planet. But that itself is, there's a lot of underground stuff going on.
We hear that there's a lot of movements of Replicant Underground coming out of the Animoid Row. Something's up there. And I gotta tell you, the butterfly guy gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Butterfly guy?
Yeah.
Sells artificial butterflies?
The Aurelian. Yeah.
No. That's interesting. I suppose how do you feel about the animoid animals? Nothing to worry about? Got any pets?
I mean, an animoid dog isn't trying to take our jobs and wives and stuff. So I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about the robot dog just deciding that it didn't like the way I talked to it and blowing my brains out. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure that the robot dogs don't know how to use a fucking blaster.
Yeah. So let me compensate you. I don't know how much he wants compensation for, but I'll give him something.
an amount of Chinyan is determined by the universe that we don't have to get into that counts mechanically as -1 Chinyan.
Sure. Okay. Well, thank you. I'll continue reading your magazine.
Thanks. Hey, if you got any updates, you let us know.
We'll see what we can do. Keep your eyes open for things out there.
He says, yeah, sure. You know what they say, hey, quid pro quo.
Exactly. All right, I will leave. Now, this is interesting. I'm going to contact everybody else. And I say, I've got a lead in Animoid Row. Didn't Leia have butterflies in her room?
Well, is that the same Doc Badger? The butterfly man?
Is the contact Doc Badger?
No,
Doc
the
Badger
contact
and the Aurelian are two different people.
is the Aurelian.
Oh.
And he's apparently works in Animoid Row. And the supremacists seem to think that there's trafficking of getting replicants off world.
And that tracks is what we know.
But he actually mentioned the butterfly man.
Yeah, I just assumed it was nothing, but if the human supremacist gets the heebie-jeebies about someone selling butterflies, that does sound like a solid lead.
She had butterflies.
Mm-hmm.
Were they animoid or were they...
There are no real butterflies.
They would have to be. If they were real, they would be.
I thought animoids were also very expensive. I thought maybe her butterflies were just like...
What if you gave them to her as a gift?
They are. Animoid animals are expensive. Real animals are like having a Mona Lisa.
Oh yeah,
they're illegal, aren't they? Yeah.
Yes, I mean it's most of them are illegal. As in, if you get caught with them, it'd be like a very bad fine or something like that. Or,
they're illegal, that only rich people have them.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Basically, yes. Correct. Collectors have them, and the other one, the actual where they're supposed to be is confined to zoos and sanctuaries where they can remain to live because most animals are extinct.
I think I'm not sure what you guys are doing now. I think I might head over to Animoid Row. She also said that I can't remember if you guys got that information to me, that Styles hung around in Animoid Row.
We knew that from before.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just confirmed that.
And then I'll tell them, of course, what the guy says that Sandor pointed a gun at Styles and she shot him.
Yeah, Styles had said something like that, but I feel like that's we have the full picture now that he was gonna kill one of Leia's friends.
And did you guys? I hear you guys when you were talking. Was there something about her not getting in the cab?
You walked from the
after she bought her ammunition. I'll send you a screenshot of the building she walked down past into the alley of.
And is that heading towards Animoid Row? That's the question.
Bullet Bob's was in Animoid Row.
Yeah.
Okay.
The timeline that you have right now is that the shooting happened. Leia got in a metro cab. She took the metro cab somewhere. She then ended up at somehow apparently the Animoid Row is involved. Then she went over to Hawker's Circle to go to Bob's Runner Supplies, and from Bob's Runner Supplies she disappeared into an alley, which there is a building that you might have gone through or perhaps stayed at. So that's sort of the timeline of things. But there is a gap there that you don't know what's in between her getting in the cab and her arriving at Bob's Runner Supplies, because there is a gap in time that's longer than just a cab ride.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm chasing down right now.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Animoid Row. I am going to find the Aurelian. I'm not necessarily going to approach the Aurelian because we might be going into a dangerous area.
Well, first of all, we need to finish this shift because Fenna just arrived at the pawn shop.
And
so
I forgot the shift.
This is an added question. Is the pawn shop and Doc Badger in Animoid Row as well?
Bullet Bob's Runner Supplies is in Hawker's Circle, which is near Animoid Row, but not in Animoid Row.
Mm-hmm.
And then Doc Badger's Pawn Shop is in Sector 5, so it's in the next, just the next sector over. So Fenna, you and Olsen have just sat down in Sector 5 outside of Doc Badger's Pawn Shop. Looks like a small place, but decent. Not quite as run down as it could be. How would you like to approach? It looks like it's small, a little bit cluttered, but like I said, like any pawn shop you'd see in LA of 2027.
I'd like to take a minute to actually look around at the contents of the shop before speaking with the shop owner himself.
Sure. Would you like to, why don't you go ahead and give me an observation roll?
Apparently, fairly observant. Oh, 10 and a 6. So apparently I am.
You find there are a number of things. Very interesting stuff. Basically your run-of-the-mill pawn shop items, as well as some weird odds and ends. A strange boombox that has an EMP device hidden in it that might not be legal. A strange, like, it's one of those like butterfly combs, but there's also a knife hidden in the comb. And then notably you find the end, what looks to be the end of a like a sword, like a katana. And next to it is a plaque. And it mentions that that the katana was found at the scene of some incident with a replicant on the run or something.
Well, if there's a bell for service, I'll ding it.
Yeah, from behind some stuff, you see Doc Badger walk out. He comes out. We do have a thing for him as well. He looks like, a younger man. He's got glasses. Very, very, very spry. He looks like he's, not quite super fit, but definitely agile. Very kind of spry and wiry. I have a headshot we'll put in the chat as well. This is what can I do for you?
Well, first thing is we're with LAPD, and my name is Fenna. This is my partner, Detective Backer. We are looking for this woman, and I'll show him a picture of Leia.
Oh, yeah, she was in here a few weeks ago.
Did she purchase anything?
Well, yeah, she came in. Wait, hold on a minute. What's going on here? Telling things about my customers is usually bad for business. You hear?
Did you not hear her when she said LAPD?
No, I heard that part. That's the part I'm concerned about.
Sure, and if you help us, you'll be a concerned citizen helping your local law enforcement officers. I don't see an issue here. If you don't, you might be obstructing an investigation.
You want to give me a manipulation roll?
Can I do strength manipulation as I flex?
Sure, I like that. Yeah, sure. Give me strength manipulation.
Can I push it?
Yes, you can.
All right. Veins bulge as I try and give the 1,000-yard stare. I'm glad I pushed it. Using strength, I got an 8.
Okay, and no ones?
No ones.
Okay. Yeah. So at first he's like, all right, if you're gonna twist my arm here, sure. So somebody that it looks like that. She came in a few weeks back. She said she was a Nexus 9, and she wanted a Stelline scan to review her own memory implants. I have such a device. I gave her some help for a little small fee. And she wanted a hard copy printout of a slice of the memory implant, this image of a young girl. She said it was her daughter. I don't know. She seemed very distraught. That's about all I remember.
I don't suppose she shared the memory with you. Wait, do you have a recording of the memory?
Oh, no. It's just something that she watched and printed out a picture of. I didn't save a recording of it.
And you didn't catch a glimpse of the recording itself?
She paid me for privacy.
Is this the picture? I'll show the picture we found.
Oh yeah, you can tell it's got my stamp on the back.
And she said it was of her
I'm
daughter.
assuming we know this device he's describing. Is this something that is commonplace?
Yes. Yes. A Stelline scan is a device, like a way of scanning a replicant's a replicant, their like mind and such.
And we don't think that he is lying. We don't think that he's lying whenever he said like they don't save. There's no auto save button
Yeah, you can give
scanning.
you can give me an insight roll.
Sure.
I'll let Fenna do that.
10 and 5. So.
Yeah, he's telling the truth.
Yeah, I'll kind of give you the nod. Like, yeah. And he's not holding back anything, is he?
No.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is she? You haven't seen an influx of replicants requesting this service, have you?
No, not quite. Sometimes a replicant will come in for a scan, but first time I've ever asked somebody asked me to print out a picture from their memory and then told me it was their daughter.
Out of curiosity,
Is that even possible?
Would
Sorry,
you
go
have
ahead.
seen? That's fine. Out of curiosity, would you have seen another gentleman who looks like this? And I want to give Sandor's photo.
No, never seen that guy.
What about this? And I'll show him Styles.
No.
I don't think I have any other questions.
Oh, is that replicant that killed that guy like 20 years ago?
Oh. No, that replicant is dead.
Oh, yeah, I mean, duh.
Detective, do you have any further questions? I don't believe I do.
No, you've been very helpful. Thank you very much for assisting the investigation.
Sure. And hey, let me know if you if you ever need anything. I can get you basically anything.
Keep that in mind. Thank you for your time, Mr. Badger. When we leave, I'd like to have a conversation with Backer about this. Do you think she was lying to him, or do you think that she's being tormented by memories of a daughter that has, is that her, or is that a child she thinks is her daughter?
Yeah, I assumed that was young her, but if they're tormenting her with memories of a daughter, that would make a little more sense to frame by your bedside to look at night.
But did Percival say that he recognized the photograph, though? Or am I misremembering this?
He said that the woman in the photograph was familiar.
The child?
Yes.
And Percival's dream was he was muttering it over and over again, but said that he had a neighbor, a small girl named Leia, and another building that he couldn't save. So I'm guessing that was intended to install some sort of a martyr complex or something.
Right.
But if they're linking these memories across,
it seems, if you zoom out and just consider it from the perspective of running a business, like, why would you chain multiple replicants' memories in this way? It seems like it would make us more vulnerable to, I don't know. It just seems strange from a purely from a business perspective. It seems like a strange thing to do.
well, from a more callous business perspective, it could just be reusing assets and memories. If they're just paying someone to program it. But yeah, it seems sloppy and strange. And I mean, if you wanted to increase the likelihood of replicants banding together against listening to Big Corpo, give them memories of each other.
The shared memories. That the more you talk about it, Olsen, the stranger it seems that this is a conscious decision that someone made.
And that they were putting more of them in. Presumably.
Just if the Nexus 8s had an uprising, why would you implant your newest generation of models with chained memories you would think that would increase the likelihood of, as you said, banding together?
Oh, fuck.
Common memories. That just seems very strange to me.
What if they released her as a beta so that they can unveil some newer, better improvement?
How old is she? I mean, we're all the Nexus 9s, we're all quite young.
The Nexus 9s are new, but wasn't Leia and Sandor kind of newer? I understood they were prototypy.
How is Leia and Sandor's ages compared to like mine and Percival's and the creation of the Nexus 9 and the release of the Nexus 9 models? John?
Sorry, I was answering another question. What was the question?
It's okay, I know the struggle.
Are Leia was Leia created and released anything particular, like earlier or later than the newest line of Nexus 9s? Was she one of the first Nexus 9s to be created? One of the newest Nexus 9s?
Leia?
Yes.
So you and Percival and Leia all have the same. You were all created a year ago, and you were all rookies.
Like the same batch. Yeah.
Yes, you were all rookies that are on your first year on the Force.
I understand.
Because a year ago was the first time that it was legal to have replicants again, right. on Earth.
But then even more, why would they share memories from the same fucking batch?
It doesn't make sense. I don't have memories of Leia. I did not know her until this investigation began. We should share all of this with Novak and Percival.
If it's not too personal, what are your memories?
So my partner, but she trained me, the woman who's gone missing. That I wouldn't consider that a memory. I don't know, maybe it is. And then just a memory of a stranger from a few weeks ago, but that wasn't Leia, right, John?
No,
I'm assuming it wasn't. You're right.
No.
Well, do you want to see if Percy's gotten any hits yet?
Yeah, let's touch base with Novak and Percival.
Yeah, so I go over everything that I went through. I'm actually in Anemoid Row at the moment. Oh wait, are we in the next?
Oh, we have one last thing for Percy. Yeah. So,
I was gonna answer and say, well, yeah. I've just been waiting in line for a while, guys.
So at the Metro Cab dispatch, how do you want to go about this? Looks like there is a office kind of in a dingy old building in Sector 5. run down and dirty, just like a dozen people or so working. And there is a looks like a whatchamacallit, secretary there, who has she actually has a name tag on. It says Ermagerd.
Ermagerd, huh?
Or Ermagard, I would say. I guess how you would say that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Percival will just walk up, flash the badge, say, "Good morning. I'm Detective Percival with the LAPD. I would like to."
Good morning.
Hello. I'm searching for a person who I saw on our Esper footage entered one of your cabs, and I would like to have access to the records, if I may.
Sure. Are you just looking to get the records, or what? What are you trying to?
Well, so there's two different cabs in question. I have the plate numbers and the times, and I
Oh, you
need
want
to know
two
where one
cabs?
went. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you want to run two different cabs, and you want me to find out where both of them went. You want me to call the drivers too?
Possibly, if they would remember.
All right. I mean, like, I can put in a request, see what I can do, but it would really make things go faster.
What?
If I were to look down and find that somebody had dropped a nice piece of chinion on the ground.
Oh, if that's going to be how it is, this seems like some pretty simple information. I could spare you a donation, but this is important information for my investigation. Yeah, I'll flip her one.
All right. She's like, oh, all right. Thanks. Yeah. Let's see here. So this looks like this first cab of yours left the snake pit.
Yep.
Dropped off its fare at the Animated Row shortly after. And
sorry, where was that at Animated Row?
They dropped off the fare at Animated Row shortly after.
Okay.
Near all the rep animal shops.
Okay.
And it looks like this other one left a few blocks down from Animated Row and showed up in Hawker's Circle.
All right.
Let's see if Craig is awake. I guess though she'd probably use the vid phone. Fuck. Don't need to use the old phone anymore. It's like, Craig, are you awake? Yeah, I got a guy here. He's with the rep detects. Can you tell me anything about the fare? 2359 was the receipt. Yeah, her. Okay, sure. Thanks. All right. He said. All I remember is that the fare was a young woman. She had a gun apparently. Didn't wave it around or anything, but she was wearing she was strapped. And she seemed clearly upset. Disappeared into the crowds amongst Animated Row.
All right. Well, thank you very much. This is exactly what I was here to look for.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah. You have a good day.
You too.
And so, John, now that Percival has a moment alone,
yeah.
Regarding the phone call I got in the middle of the night, have I gotten information? Because I'm deciding if I want to share that with my fellow detectives. But I'm curious about what piece of equipment specifically I'm trying to smuggle out. Like what that device is going to be big on how I feel about the whole thing.
Basically, they're trying to get a piece of equipment smuggled out of the evidence. It is it's like a more higher grade piece of equipment. It is for industrial cutting. It was used in a robbery. That's why it's in evidence. And you could probably think of a number of reasons why they would want something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, great. I'll still just struggle with that for a little bit. But I walk pleasantly out of the cab office with all the information I needed. And now we can have our phone call.
Yep. So you're all caught up at the end of the first shift as we go from morning into afternoon.
So far, we have 3 signs pointing toward Animoid Row, at least one abandoned building, and a butterfly salesman.
Well, so she went there after the shooting, and then she came from there to get ammo. I don't imagine that was the trip that she took to get the photograph, because then that means she would have gone back to her apartment and left it there.
I think that happened beforehand.
I'm starting
Photo was
to
done weeks ago.
I'm starting to put together. I'm not even sure if it's a fully fledged theory yet, but we've got the butterflies in her apartment, which means that, and she's been seen in Animoid Row. The supremacists say that the Aurelian might be connected to smuggling. At least that's the way I kind of read it, that he might be trying to get, replicants out. She went to get ammunition. Now, if she's getting ammunition, she's either expecting there to be a firefight on her way out, or she's going to use the ammunition for something else.
Yeah, before she leaves.
And if she's stressed or freaked out by something in her memory, because you told me that she had that picture printed out of someone from her memory, then she might be trying to, if the memory causes her a great deal of pain, then wouldn't she try to get revenge? I mean, we've seen the Nexus 6s did that. The Nexus 8s
I see where you're going, yeah. So
and
who would she blame, either Wallace or the memory lab?
And the memory lab, yeah, that's kind of where I was going. What if there's somebody at the memory lab or some group at the memory lab that's been doing this? I've got a name. It's the Lilith Memory Lab.
But if you said Styles is already booking her for a one-way trip off the planet, going to take on Wallace or a memory lab is very likely punching your own ticket ahead of time.
Probably.
I think it's more likely that she shot her partner and was freaking out and panicked and bought more ammo, assuming this exactly was going to happen.
Right.
And she's going to have a team of runners knocking on her door.
Yeah. What I'm thinking, though, is I'm heading towards Animoid Rat. I'm going to find this Aurelian fellow, the butterfly guy. I don't think I want to just directly approach, because that might punch my ticket right there. But I am going to stake him out.
Okay.
And see if I see anything suspicious going on. I might actually even see her.
Okay, so Novak's heading to go to the Aurelian shop. Yeah, where does somebody else want to go?
I have a silly question.
Or do you want to join
Aurelian sounds like a noun. Is that something?
So he is the Aurelian, and his shop is the Aurelian.
Okay, but that's not like a thing. Like Aurelian is not like
an Aurelian is a
people
thing.
Or an object.
Aurelian is.
Sounds like an alien.
Aurelian was a Roman emperor.
Okay.
Is it Aurelia? Or is that also named after him?
I didn't mean to throw us down a rabbit hole. I was just curious. Good. It sounded like something. So I was like,
no, that's fine.
It means golden. It means golden.
Oh, yes,
Also-
of course it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
also not to go-
our AU.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to go too far down a rabbit hole, but and some folks in Europe will refer to a butterfly collector as an Aurelian, whereas most folks will call him a lepidopterist.
Lepidopterist.
Oh, I didn't know that. So it
Oh.
is actually a term for a.
It's more of like an
butter-
old European butterfly
Oh,
collector
that's
term.
interesting.
That's we can thank the original writers from Free League who I'm sure that it's a common term for them over there. So that's for those of you that don't know. I just thought that was a fancy name for him. It's literally his title as well. He is an Aurelian.
You know.
Yeah. Thank you, Doctor. All right,
I'm gonna
back
go
to-
watch
back to
Find the
Ultimate.
Butterfly Collector.
All right. So is anybody gonna go? Is anybody gonna go with Novak to see the Aurelian or just Novak?
In Novak, I don't know that you should go alone unless you're wanting to.
Well,
I think
that's
we
why
have
I'm
more-
not going to approach.
More to talk about. Yeah, I think we need a plan for each of us right now. And so I wanted to clarify with what you guys were talking about with the memory. So Percival doesn't recognize Leia or the person in the photograph. So the name is a coincidence and it makes it personally challenging, but I don't think that it was like a chained memory in the way that you guys were talking about.
Okay, I thought you'd recognize the girl in the photograph as well.
Wait,
I'm sorry.
You did.
I did? Okay.
You did recognize her in
the
the
confusing
photograph.
part of the conversation.
Okay.
Okay, then
Sorry.
that's
yes,
huge.
that was established that you did recognize her. However, However, neither of you were children, so do with that what you will.
It's somebody else.
It's so strange.
I still think it's
imagine-
reusing assets and programming.
That's like Kay experiences in the second movie. Imagine knowing you were never a kid, but having memories of being one.
Yeah. Okay.
I really would like to find Leia and ask her what these horrible memories that were implanted in her head are.
Well, if she won't shoot us first, I think we all would like to talk to her for a bit.
Yes,
well, if we want to just know what the memory is, then we should go to the lab, but I'm not sure that really helps the investigation to know the specifics.
I also
was thinking
don't
the
know
same,
if Wallace
Percival.
would let them talk.
I was curious, but ultimately it doesn't really further our investigation. In
What?
any way. It's just curiosity.
While you were there, she didn't say you couldn't go to the Lilith Memory Lab. She said, I don't think it would be worth it.
Exactly. It was Cole's idea. She brought it up.
Maybe that's exactly why we should go, because she said it's not worth it.
The spider.
Yeah,
I don't
Novak
sleep.
has a
Memory
point.
is too much of a lead to pass up, though.
Okay, well then.
But I do have an ultimate question. If we find Leia, what are we going to do?
You said it yourself. She committed a crime, Novak.
I know, but I mean, I kind of think in terms of taking her to justice, having a judge decide what happens. But at the same time, they would want us, all of the LAPD and everybody would want us to retire her.
Well, I
If
think the
you take her
judge
to a
did
She'll
decide,
be retired.
and that's
The
retiring.
judge would retire her. Hey,
I guess I don't want to be the one to do it, but it's my job.
I'm curious how the outcome of the conversation at the memory lab would go if either only myself and Percival went, or neither myself or Percival went.
Well, I'm going to stake
Not
out
sure.
the Raley.
I'm not sure which of those avenues is more worth.
Well, if Novak's going to be at the Aurelian, do you want me to hang around? Or Fenna, Percy, do you want to go to the memory lab?
Percy,
Yeah,
would like
Percy,
to
how-
memory
how-
lab with me.
How does the idea of meeting the person who created your memory sound?
Yeah. Well, so all right. So just to put it to rest. So the person in the photograph is who I remember, but the photograph
Sorry.
is younger than I remember them.
The person in the photograph looks like who you remember, but not exactly the same person.
So like a child.
Okay.
Like a
just
child.
Simply looks like a parent, but isn't exactly the parent.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going
okay.
to differentiate child
I
versus
get the-
daughter at this point because I've been
Okay.
getting very confused.
So. Okay. I think I'm getting it now. So probably same Leia. Daughter is similar, but yeah, gotcha. Sorry, I tripped over that so much.
No, you're fine. It's
well,
almost like it's
so-
confusing on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, backer could be useful at the Aurelian if you're expecting trouble. And yeah, I mean, let's go meet our makers, Fenna.
I'll stake it out, and if I do think there will be trouble, then I'll definitely get probably Olsen over here.
Backer, do you think it's worth trying to go to where Leia was last seen?
I do.
Area, the building that she disappeared into after the pawn shop?
I think, to me,
Yeah, that's a
it would
hard
make the
decision.
most sense. You're going to do something. She met with this Aurelian, bought ammo, and is trying to lay low until her ship is taking off. So I think it's very likely she's squatting, and she is scared and armed.
Yeah, she might have
Is there
barricaded
any-
somewhere.
Is there any lead we can run down as to? I don't know how often flights leave the planet. Is it like an airport constant, or is it only every few days? Or
I'd almost think that she couldn't go to a regular airport because they would scan her and know that she wasn't real.
that's true.
So
She's
it's
probably
gotta
hopping
be-
in a shipping crate or something.
There
Right.
aren't regular spaceports. Space is
Okay.
something that only the most elite and rich, who can also pass the requirements and tests, can get to. Thus, anybody that's not those things can only aspire to get there legally.
Yeah.
And
So
that
there's
is
gotta be
very
somebody-
clearly the way that the replicants are doing so.
Right.
They probably have a shuttle that is small enough or using some sort of technology that allows it to slip under the radar.
Right.
Well, is there trade though? Does Earth export?
Yes, 100%. The moon is actually mostly a space station from Earth to the planets.
Right. There's
cool.
commerce. So they could put her in a box or something. And
Oh yeah, I mean there's commerce. Replicants are one of the largest pieces of intergalactical commerce, actually.
Yeah.
And so this
Makes
is
sense.
this is my dumb Lex question. Do replicants have to breathe?
I think they're
I think so.
biological.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I'm gonna say yes until I'm
Lovecraft-
told
Yes, with an
otherwise.
asterisk is fine. I was
Oh!
kind of like, can you
Yes!
drop it in a crate?
Yes. I don't like saying this because Quell exists in our game, and that's not going to happen to her for another 13 years. But yes, in the second movie, Kay drowns Quell, implying that they can die from drowning.
Oh wait, Quell is love?
Wait, is that love?
That's love. He drowns.
Oh, I guess not. I guess that is somebody else.
But that's okay. She drowns. Yes. That
I
case in point.
guess Quell
Same thing.
dies and then gets replaced by Love. Because she
I don't
basically
remember
fills
Quell.
the same position. Anyway,
Love probably
like,
kills her. That's fine.
Quell.
Somebody Quell dies somehow.
Love just
replaces
judo chops
her.
Quell and then
Yeah,
takes her job.
Love replaces her and looks similar but slightly different, actually, now that I think about it. Okay.
Wait, are there movies about our future?
Yeah, haven't you seen the historical
This
documents?
Well, what's the opposite of historical?
How do we know that anything is real now? All right.
Okay, but
So who's gonna go
okay. I think Fenna and I go to the memory lab and you two go separately.
Backer, if you want to come, don't let me stop you. I was just hypothesizing that it might lead to an interesting avenue of discussion if no humans are present.
Honestly, no, it's fine. I think this is something very personal and sensitive for the two of you, and it makes sense for you two to go together. Just keep us handy on speed dial. We'll get there as soon as we need if anything goes haywire.
Spectre, you're coming with me then.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not going to the abandoned building. You're both going to go you're both going to go with Novak, or you're going to go with Novak. I mean.
So
Backer
I think
and
I'm going to
Novak
go
are
with.
a team. Percival and Fenna are a
Right.
team.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, let's do the two that are going to Animoid Row first.
And the abandoned
So-
building is in Animoid Row, right?
It is off of Hawker's Circle, which is in the same sector, but it's a little bit away.
Okay.
And enough that Leia got a cab.
It'll be a jog. Okay.
Yeah. You have the spinner. So you can see that there is a sort of small vendor stand and hustle as part of Animoid Row. As you approach, you can see that inside the shop, the Aurelian seems to be like at the counter, and he seems to be, looking at some butterflies. So,
is he a young man, an old man?
Definitely, he's an older man, very much older. Yeah.
Back, do you think you can take him if we need to? If the butterfly man becomes violent,
we have to.
And as you're approaching, you actually see him take out something out of his pocket and walk into the back room.
As both of us walk in, is it conspicuous?
Or no, as you were as you saw him before you walked through the like bell ringer.
I wanna wait a little bit before we walk in the door and see what sort of clientele he has.
But there's nobody there right now.
Okay. Well, I suppose as long as the two of us are together, we're both armed. If Jelly thinks that he might be shady, a dangerous guy, then we got to be ready. He could have a blaster behind the counter or something like that. I don't know, but what do you want to ask him to see if he can reveal?
I was thinking of shopping around to look for the specific type of butterfly that I saw in the jar in Leia's apartment, asking to gauge it. Then just mentioned that I saw a friend of mine had them, and so it got me curious.
Okay. Do we have the picture of Leia, or we have a picture of Leia?
Yeah, you have yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that if anything freaky happens, we'll be ready to.
Safety off.
Yeah.
So when you enter, you actually hear murmurs of a conversation coming from the back room. If you'd like, you can give me either an observation roll to try to kind of listen in, or you can give me a stealth roll to sneak up closer without making any noise to listen in.
Observation.
Olsen's like, I have neither of those things.
Yeah, I have a D6 in both, so I'm gonna observe.
Okay.
Let's see. We just rolled the observation.
No. You always roll your stat plus your skill.
Okay.
Unless I tell you have a disadvantage, in which case you only roll the higher one.
I got a 1 and a 7.
I got a 6 and a 6.
All right. So, you two are both able to hear this. Olsen, you pick up little bits. Novak, you get all of it. So you overhear what sounds like the Aurelian talking to somebody on a vid phone. And he says, you actually hear a voice that Novak, you recognize with your 2 successes on the other line. It's Styles. Styles says, "Where is she now?" And the Aurelian responds, "I sent Leia to the safe house. She should stay hidden down there until it's time to go to the sign in the kipple. That's her ticket out. She just needs to lay low now." And Styles responds, "No, I'm not so sure. She seemed angry. Not done yet." The Aurelian says, "Yeah, I sensed it too in her voice. Only time will tell."
I'm looking at Olsen like.
So he's getting Leia to buy some kibble, but it's not ready yet.
No, there's a safe house. So now I don't think we shouldn't give in our knowledge, because he'll freak out.
What the fuck do we do?
We could, I don't know, stake the place out, follow him when he goes. If he goes to the safe house, we can see where it is.
I'll bet the safe house is that spot Percy pulled up.
Could be. Maybe we just pretend like we're looking around at the moment.
And that's around this moment you see him walk out, and you can actually see that his two eyes appear to be very murky, like he might be blind. And he walks out and he says, is someone there? I thought I heard the bell ring. Sorry, I was indisposed.
Yes, we're just looking around right now.
What can I do for him? Are you interested in any of my wonderful animoid butterflies?
Some of them are quite beautiful.
Yes. I can't quite gleam the colors like I once could, but they're still magnificent animals. I can tell that even with my ears.
Oh, that's such a shame. I was actually looking for a friend of mine, a coworker, had a set of beautiful butterflies in her apartment. They were blue wings with black tips on the ends of them.
Are you specifically describing the butterflies that were in
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, yes.
Yes. Olsen would remember. He says, I do remember, that sounds like a bouquet of mine. I don't remember who I sold it to, but it definitely sounds familiar. If you want, you can make an insight roll if you'd like.
Insight. I see it.
Haha, and I upgraded my insight with humanity.
Oh, still got an 8.
Got an 8 and a 1.
Actually, I got an 8 and a 2, so that's a 10, isn't it?
No, you don't have them together. It's each individual dice. We care what's on it. So yeah, you are able to you're able to kind of like look and see. He's not quite telling the truth. In fact, with both of you, you're pretty sure that this whole blind old man thing is an act.
Yes, these butterflies over here are quite beautiful. Do you do moths as well?
Thank you, but no, I usually do just butterflies. I suppose I could try my hand at a commissioned order. So,
out of curiosity, looking at this and noticing that his eyes are spending a little bit too much time on the butterflies as we're looking around for someone who may actually be blind. If I were to do could you tell me about this? Oh, no. And drop one to see if he'll catch it.
Ooh. What's worse is that you drop it and he goes to try to catch it, but he actually in his method acting does not go as fast as he would prefer, and actually misses and just barely doesn't get the butterfly, and it falls to the ground and starts fluttering. It cracks and starts fluttering around. He's like, oh no.
Oh dear.
What did you do that for? He says in notably what sounds like a younger person's voice.
Can I just plant my knee in the middle of his back real quick while he's on the ground?
You could go ahead and give me a close combat roll. Or force, either one.
Let's see. I'm good at one thing, Novak. You knew this whenever you brought me here.
This.
Let's see. So that's damn. I'm not trying to hurt him, but I do just want to pin him. That's an 8 and a 4.
Yeah, so you do so. Just what's the meaning of this? Why beating up a frail blind old man?
Okay, listen, you can drop the blind thing, and you feel still frail. I'm not going to hurt you. We're trying to find Leia. We want to help her because we know she is in deep shit right now. I heard Styles on the phone. I know you all have plans. We want to know what Wallace is doing and try and stop it.
Give you an manipulation roll.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead and give it. You can do it with an advantage.
Juicy D6s. Okay.
Because you said words that he likes.
Okay. I said we're gonna blow up Wallace. Okay.
Whoa there, samurai!
Wake the fuck up, samurai. Okay.
Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up, Blade Runner! We've got a replica to retire.
I'm gonna push it just because this matters.
All right.
All right.
And you get to push all 3 dice.
Yeah. Oh, so I got a 7 on one of them. So can I push
keep
just the 2?
Keep the 7 and reroll the other 2.
Okay, perf. All right. Big money, big money. Okay, just the 1 7.
All right. Well, with 1 success, he kind of he's like, "What do you mean? You're working with Wallace. What do you mean you want to know about what they did? Aren't you you're just here to cover it up?"
Novak, tell him how friendly we are with Wallace.
Yeah, to be perfectly honest, we had a long conversation with Styles, and we let him go. We were actually sent to take him down. We let him go because we don't think that what Wallace is doing is correct at all. And we think that they've really damaged Leia in some manner.
You can call him back up on that vid phone if you don't believe us.
Yeah.
I knew that story about a drunken Bender and ending up in the kibble was bullshit.
Where is she? We are not planning on retiring.
What do you think that you can do for her?
It's more like what we think that she can do to stop Wallace, or at least change their policies.
Listen, I'm open to ideas too. Bottom line, we don't want to retire her, but we do need to locate her. If we can, I would really fucking like to stop Wallace implanting these torturing memories.
And what did you mean that you said that she was angry? We were listening while you were on the phone.
You talked to Styles, didn't you?
We kind of let him go pretty quickly because it felt sorry for him.
My understanding that she was tormented by her memories, ones that were not potentially weren't even real.
We know she bought ammo, and we're trying to anticipate what it is she's planning. Certainly not shooting someplace up like the bar.
No, not the bar.
The memory lab?
Memory lab? Yeah.
My guess.
That's really foolish. She'll get caught. Wallace is going to cover it all up.
Well, you think we'll catch her before she can manage to do it?
But even then, why the fuck would she do it? Like, if she has a boat off this rock.
I don't know. Styles and I tried to talk sense into her. There's no talking sense. That if she wants to do something, she's doing it.
All right. So I'm going to pull my knee off of this guy's back and offer hand to lift him up and say, listen, can you get us to her at the safe house before she fucking kills herself?
I mean, I can't control what she does.
That's fine.
I understand.
But she will die if she tries to take out this memory farm.
Did she tell you what the memory was?
Not me, no. I didn't ask. I've heard too many horror stories to care the details. I believe her.
We, torturing anybody is evil, and torturing replicants is... there comes a point when the moral threshold is passed, and I think that Wallace is doing exactly that. And I honestly want it to come to light publicly what's going on, where it gets out of Wallace's hands so they can't stop it.
If we can find her, get her to record a testimonial, then maybe she slips out of our hands. and gets on that boat. But she is never going to do that if she goes rampage right now. You can help us try and stop her.
That's between you and her. If you're
Sure.
lucky, she's still at the safe house.
Where's
if you're
the
not,
safe house?
What?
Where's the safe house?
Oh. Here, it's over off Hawker's Circle.
Is that the place that...
Yes, it is.
All right.
He says, look, if she's not there, you might have to prepare for the eventuality that she'll try to do something before you get to her.
We understand. Thank you for your cooperation.
And listen,
pretty.
I'm sorry about the thing, and I'm going to put like a measly stump of like 1 chin on the counter to try and pay for it. It's probably enough to cover like the wing of one of them.
Well, that'll pay for the glass as long as I can find the butterfly.
Listen, you know how much we get paid.
More than you deserve.
Don't make me take that back, please. Yeah. Let's just go.
Let's just go.
Oh,
and
right.
Do we have time to get on the vid phones with Fenna and Percival? Or are they in conversation?
We'll say that they are in conversation because it's more dramatically appropriate, but you will be able to talk to them before they leave.
We do the thing where we call them and they see that a call's coming in.
Yes.
No, we're busy, and they put it back in their pocket.
Yeah. All right. So the Lilith Memory Lab. So the Lilith Memory Lab is located in a largely abandoned, actually part of Sector 4. It's a drab gray building. Mostly seems like it's like an office area with a dome-like area that looks like the memory lab itself. And you see Lilith Memory Lab is printed in big letters over the entrance. As you approach, there looks to be a door with a optical scanner and a intercom. How do you approach?
Well, I'm picturing the one in the movie. So is it like
yes.
we need to knock on the glass? Okay, I was trying to disconnect that.
You can press the intercom or
right.
mess with the eye scanner.
Press the intercom.
Hello. This is the little. Who is there?
Yes, this is detectives from the LAPD. We have a few questions for you.
For Miss Tyrell?
Who runs the memory lab? I guess.
Lilith Tyrell.
Oh, okay. Okay, Lilith is Tyrell. Yes.
Yeah. His niece. Yeah. This is one moment. After a short pause, the doors opened, and you can see there's looks to be a replicant clerk. Affectionately called Terry, is what his little name badge says. And he says, welcome, please come inside. Miss Tyrell will be with you in just a moment.
Thank you.
He brings you inside, kind of brings you into sort of the main area where there's the office where you can see the memory lab. And as you enter, it's a little strange. As you go inside, you can see that it's mostly shrouded by darkness, the memory lab. But the first thing you notice is that there are 2 children, a boy and a girl, drawing pictures on the floor, kind of like with chalk and stuff, like in the middle of the dome. Do you just watch for now?
Is it, you say in the middle of the dome? Are we
yes.
in a dome? Is that what you mean? Okay.
So there's, you're in an office area, and then there's a dome with a glass sort of thing around it, and you can see into the dome. And in the center are 2 children, chalking on the floor.
I'll walk to get closer, not to interrupt their work, but I want to see what they look like, their drawing.
Like I said, it looks like a boy and a girl.
They don't look familiar to me in any way. Like
They
the
do
girl
not.
is not the girl from the photograph. Okay.
No. But as you come closer, and you can kind of hear their you hear them giggle as they're playing. But you notice they kind of flicker, almost like holograms, and then after a few moments they disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And out walks Lilith Tyrell with a this electronic contraption that she's removing from her hand.
And so we're outside of that dome, right? Like we
Yes,
could
yeah,
walk
yeah.
up to the kids. Yeah.
I mean, you could
Nice.
yell at them from the other side, but you'd be able to walk up with them without entering through the doorway,
Yeah.
like through
Right.
the hallway. Yeah, and so as you enter, as I said, you can kind of see that she takes the device off of her hand, and enters. She walks up, and she says, "Oh, hello. Your Blade Runners?
Yes, Miss
That's correct.
Tyrell.
Oh." And she looks to you, Percy. She says, "Ah, I hope my work has been serving you well."
I suppose so. Yes.
You're happy with the product?
I could have asked for a more pleasant one, but yeah, it suits me fine.
She kind of notes something down on a piece of paper. Okay, gotcha. Well, what can I do for the two of you?
Actually, it's the very conversation that you started with Percival here is actually, I think, the reason why we're here. I would like to know more, and the LAPD would like to know more about this policy of creating these unpleasant and unhappy memories within replicants, and the logic behind that.
What do you mean?
It seems as that like Percival himself said that his memories that you've given him were not very enjoyable or pleasant. Is there a reason for that?
We always have a reason for implanting memories. Different memories have different purposes. But we always try to set replicants up with memories that will assist them in the course of their duties and following through of those duties. Why do you ask?
It just seemed a strange policy to have, to implant people with unpleasant. And if you can choose the memories you give someone, why give them unhappy memories? Seems cruel.
Cruel? I'm not sure I understand.
Well, perhaps we don't need to debate the ethics of it. Do you keep records on file? Is there any way to view recent memories that you've given to people?
I could play back a memory. It's highly out of form to play someone else's memory for another replicant, but I suppose for a Blade Runner that'd be different. Why?
These memories are relevant to an ongoing investigation, Mr.
Which
Tyrell.
memories?
I hope you understand. The memories contained or created for I was going to give her a designation name, but I don't have it available. So a replicant by the name of Leia.
Oh.
Yeah. Specifically the recalibration memories. There seems to be more that were added beyond her initial key.
I don't think any more were added if she was recalibrated. It's probably just that they were retuned.
Oh, really?
Yes. We try not to adjust things after the fact.
Okay, so, and in regards to a memory, what is a tuning? Does it change the details or does it sharpen them?
It just sharpens them, fixes anything that might have, any malfunctions that might have occurred in the code.
Can I make an insight roll?
Sure.
Nine and a 1.
A 9 and a 1?
Yes.
Okay. So what are you trying to figure out here?
I guess is she being truthful with us when she's saying like,
She-
oh, we don't add any memory, this
She
all this
is.
bullshit.
However, it's clear that she doesn't want to show you the memory,
Mm.
but you think you could probably push her to show you it. She could probably be persuaded.
Okay. Miss Tyrell, this is an investigation, and by refusing to show us these memories, you are impeding this investigation.
Well, I never said I wanted to impede the investigation. It's just not common protocol for us to show the memories of another, especially to another replicant. Now, I suppose as Reptitex, that is another thing, but again, not a normal situation.
Well, we are outside of normal situations. We are members of the LAPD. This is in the line of our duties. This has nothing to do with who or what we are as individuals.
You can go ahead and give me a manipulation roll.
Oh, yeah. Actually good at this. An 11 and a 1. I can't re-roll a 1, can I?
No, but the 11 is 2 successes.
Well, then I'll take the 11.
Yeah. So she says, all right, why don't I just show you? I think it would be easier to understand, perhaps, if I showed you. Sorry. So, she uses the device on her arm, and the lights dim again, and then the hologram in the memory lab flickers back to life. You suddenly find yourselves all in a very spacious hall. There is golden sunlight beams that are coming in through like a huge picture window, revealing a red Santa Vista outside, and you see someone move past you, a small girl. Mommy, she says, you can't catch me, and she runs off, giggling, disappearing into the deep shadows. There's a moment of stillness, of total bliss. And then a sharp, loud bang. The ground shaking, followed by a sharp, rattling noise. An explosion. Gunfire. People screaming. The gunfire continues. You run right toward the deadly danger, to your daughter, rushing through the halls, bathed in the red light. And then you see them. Masked men, clad in black, guns raised. And then you see her, lying on the floor, very still. Now it's your turn to scream. And it's just like that. The scene is gone, and you are all back in the memory lab.
And it was the girl from the photograph.
It was the girl from the photograph, correct. She says, that is Leia's memory.
And what was the purpose of implanting such a traumatic memory into someone?
It's horrifying.
I mean, it is as horrifying as it needed to be. I mean, replicants are machines. They're no different than no different than the blasters you carry. I mean, and definitely more advanced, of course, but machine nonetheless. The purpose of memories I design is to control these machines in the most effective way possible by imprinting them with a deep trauma. The memory of this trauma is conditioned to be triggered at any time the replicant even considers the possibility of disobeying. This is a unique method for how I make the Nexus 9 replicants fully obedient. It's simple, really. Morality has no role here. You wouldn't want that blaster in your holster to disobey you now, would you?
Of course not.
It's as simple as that.
And if I told you that these implanted memories were making replicants unstable, how would you respond to that?
Replicants have always been unstable. They always will be. You can't expect to create something so nearly perfectly human and not expect it to have issues coming to grips with that. Replicants are harder to kill, and less emotionally and mentally stable than humans. That is the yin and yang of them. That's always as it has been.
So when people are killed by replicants because of these traumatic memories, and then the replicant themselves are retired because of this crime, that's just the cost of doing business.
I think Wallace and I will figure that out and cross that bridge if and when we come to it. But for now, the memories are doing their job. I mean, Percival, do you have any complaints?
There's something that's been troubling me, and I was wondering if we could get other eyes on it. Is it possible to pull up mine in this way for my fellow detective to see?
Sure. It's a little bit unorthodox, but I suppose if you insist, I mean, it helps the investigation.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
and so
particularly the face of somebody within it. I don't need to relive the whole painful thing.
So she cues it up, and if you would like to describe to us all what we all see, I will let you take the reins since it's your memory. What do we all see in the memory lab projection? Like what is holographically projected for us all in perfect vicissitude to reality?
All right. Well, we see some perfectly imaged rundown housing, a very derelict housing project. And you see little kid Percival with little kid Leia playing. And yeah, Percival just want to stop right there and have Fenna look at Leia and point her out. And if I have control over it, I don't want it to go any further than that. Just show them playing together.
Sure. You can give her a signal and she'll cut it there.
Yeah, right there is good. So Fenna, that's what I've been telling you about. Look at the girl there.
And this girl, this looks like a child Leia. Like Leia is a young girl.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this is incredible. I'd like to snap a picture of my own memory.
Also, anyone, if you'd like, can make an observation roll, but it's going to need 2 successes for this is a really hard roll.
What? I don't think I've figured it out yet. What is 2? Like, what's the threshold for 2 successes?
Oh,
the number?
by getting a 6 or higher on both dice, or getting a 10 or higher on either.
Okay.
So I got 3. I got an 8 and a 12.
I got 6 and a 9.
Hey, Percival.
Yeah.
Looking at Leia, and looking at the picture of her daughter, and looking at Lilith Tyrell, you notice something. Put the picture of Lilith Tyrell and the picture of Leia next to each other, if you can, on your computer.
Whoa.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So if okay, I mean, I think I'll want to talk about this later, like not in the room, but
okay.
I think I get where you're going.
All right, is there anything else you want to say before we cue the other two trying to call you?
I mean,
Jesus Christ, back or not now.
Yeah.
Is this something
just
that you're doing with all of the Nexus 9s?
A number of them.
These more intense memories, I suppose.
I don't think you have any of my work in you, though. I wonder if it's somebody else's, or if it's borrowed memories rather than implanted.
Yeah. So, Miss Tyrell, that first one with the hallway and the men, was that your memory?
What?
Was that from you? I know you created it, but is it your memory, or is it something you fabricated?
It's a fabrication. It's all too true in what it's based off of, but in its exact details, that never happened. No.
It's curious to me, Miss Tyrell, that given the history of your replicants, you would give replicants memories with each other in them. That seems like an odd choice.
What do you mean?
This, and we still have Percival still up. This is Leia. Why would you give replicants memories of other replicants?
Well, for exactly the same purpose that we give them the other memories.
It's curious after the Nexus 8 uprising that you would that's a decision that you would make.
Yeah, I was attacked in 23. That's part of the reason why I wanted to help with this, to make sure that nobody else would have to suffer that same fate.
Well, Percival, I don't have any further conversations, and I believe we're being paged by our partners. Did you have anything else you wanted to ask?
We'll come back if we think of something. This has been insightful for me.
Thank you for your time, Miss Tyrell.
And I would like a private moment with Fenna immediately, as soon as I can.
Do you find that hip flask?
Yeah, hop in the car.
Well, before you get in the car, maybe you're just leaving the office when you finally look at our messages that we've been trying to get.
Good Lord, 15 missed calls from Backer. It must be important.
Oh.
I'll give her a call.
Fenna, I need you to tell me if I'm crazy. So, Leia is Tyrell's daughter that Tyrell gave her mother's memories of without knowing, or something? Is Leia a replicant? Or is she real?
Leia's a replicant.
Is she?
First of all, she's classified as such. You know as well as I do, it's not so easy to identify replicants anymore.
I'm just trying to string memories together. It's weird when you have memories that aren't yours and other people can just put them in your head, There's something there though. It's not clicking for me yet.
Right. Look, I think Novak's calling me now. Good.
Yeah. Let's talk to him.
We should answer the phone. Yes, Novak. What is
Jesus
it?
Christ,
Hey guys, what's up?
You never answered the phone ever since they got rid of texting. I think that texting was a brilliant thing, and why
Novak, get to the point. Is she fucking dead?
I think that Leia is going to try to kill Lilith Tyrell in revenge.
A letter.
In revenge for whatever memories she got implanted.
Look, I'm making sure that this conversation taking place outside of this building and in the car.
Yeah.
Listen, Novak, we saw the memory.
But those are her memories. She's gonna kill her for giving her memories. She said that they're slightly different, but there's truth there. That those events happen just in different contexts.
But they're
details.
Lilith's memories, correct?
They're Lilith's. What
I don't know.
Replicants killed her daughter, and this is some grand plan against replicants at the end of the day,
or against humans,
or something. I don't know.
Just sounds like a fucking narcissist to me.
In any case, I think that Leia might be headed for. We know where the safe house is. That's where we're going now. But I think that if we don't find Leia there, she's on her way to where you are to kill or get her revenge, or maybe just ask the questions of Lilith. But I wouldn't be surprised. Wasn't that the whole what did Blatty murder Tyrell because he'd figured out that his lifespan was short, or
Oh, you've been watching the historical documents again.
yeah, I have
Nexus
been. Yeah.
Sixes, even Nexus Sixes knew that their lifespans were shortened. Like everyone knew that. That wasn't
But
a secret.
that's why they killed Tyrell. There was a huge shitstorm after that. I think that Lilith Tyrell's in mortal danger at the moment. I think that's what she got the gun for, or what she got the ammunition for. I think she's going to come there to mine the mine place and shoot the place up.
What would you have us do, Novak? Do you want us to come to you, or do you want us to stay here and wait and see if she shows up?
Shit, I don't know.
Yeah, we can wait and arrest her. And
We're
you guys
on our
go
way.
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're on our way to the
wait
safe
for
house
you two
now.
Go stake out her apartment, see if she's there. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we can't catch her or we die, you know where she's coming.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Yeah, we'll wait.
All
Guess
right.
in the spinner and just observe the building.
So Novak and Olsen are going to rush to the apartment, or the apartment, the safe house.
Yes.
Cool. All right. See
There's a million
rush
places to hide.
back over to Hawker's Circle, and luckily, as I said, you are able to. So you go into the alleyway that you saw her go into. There is just the one building that's not. Yes, very good. That's not boarded up. And as you enter, it's very much kind of eerie. It's very much like the first movie. It's a very, very old, decrepit, decaying building. The elevator is of course out, so you're gonna have to take the stairs up. Take the stairs up a number of floors. It looks like it's like a 19th century, like dilapidated brick building. And it's about 5 stories. You kind of have to carefully, climb your way through the crumbling ruin and head your way up the stairs. There's rain dripping from the huge skylight above, and you can see searchlights from off-world ad blimps that sweep down the massive atrium and access walkways, stairs, and elevators, which, like I said, stopped working decades ago. So you climb up the ornate iron work staircases, and soon you're at the upper floors. Looks like all but one of the apartments here are completely empty and ruined. Many have been ransacked years before. However, you go down to the very end, and there is a kind of large apartment that's sort of haphazardly fixed up to function as kind of like this sort of temporary dwelling. And it looks like the door is bolted shut. So you're gonna have to do a force roll to knock it down, or a roll to pick it, which I think would be a tech roll.
Does Leia have a last name? I forget.
No. Replicants often don't have last names. Technically speaking, they don't quite have names. They have designations, and then commonly they get nicknames. Like Fenna and Percival are nicknames. Percival is just one that kind of stuck. Fenna is because the FN thing. So
should we just yell out Leia?
Yeah. I'm ready to just kick and breach the door with force, because I don't necessarily think we want to pick it and be sitting ducks if she wants to shoot, and just say, Leia, we're here to help. We do not want to fight. Please do not shoot.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you're easily able to kick the door in. It swings open.
So no response. Okay.
No response. You can give me an observation roll though.
Okay.
Observation.
I'm just assuming it's D6s. Jesus.
I got a D12 on that, so let's see.
8.
I got a 12.
So you do hear what sounds like the distant clanging of metal, but far away when you enter. And you do see a number of things sprayed out in the safe house, like some like documents and stuff.
Sure. What floor are we on?
The 5th floor.
Okay, we've gone all the way to the top. She may have gone out the window. So being careful tactically to make sure I don't get ambushed. I'll look at the documents that are on the floor.
Sure. So we can do our wonderful scene pictures. I love this part of Blade Runner. So here's what you see. Let me know if you need it zoomed or adjusted or anything. This is what you see. There's a number of things.
Piano, there's a teapot.
There's a lamp over there, and then I want to see this picture that's on the front left.
Greetings from Hollywood, the capital of the world.
It's a postcard.
Just a postcard.
Why does she have an antique postcard?
I don't know.
Whatever, fuck it. What's on the table?
And then, on the table, it looks like there is a couple things. Looks like on the table there is a magazine and a ad leaflet. There's also something over on the dresser. So let's do what's on the table first.
Synth, the magazine of the replicant industry. Smithsonian restores an automaton XM1. Nuclear hardening for radioactive waste disposal personnel. Synth takes a look at the new joy. Trauma gives control. Lilith Tyrell explains the finer points of replicant memory designed. And Tales from the Mind, the story continues.
Then there's also...
There's a reference to Lilith right there on the magazine.
Mm-hmm. Off-world. A new life awaits you in the off-world colonies. The chance to begin again in a golden land of opportunity and adventure. Shimago Dominguez Corp. For Arcadia. Remember when every breath tasted like springtime? When you awoke to the whispers in the pines? To the honeyed essence of blooms outside your window? Memories you never knew you had, now reality. Only on Arcadia. Now accepting settlements on a limited basis for qualified applicants. Heaven isn't a place you imagine. Heaven awaits for you off-world.
And then finally, Novak, if you want to go over to the dresser, it looks like there is a piece of paper that has been ripped from a book.
That's where poetry goes now. The complete works of William Blake. She likes the William Blake stuff.
It's the page that was ripped out.
Ah, yeah. My hands are labored day and night, and ease comes never in my sight. My wife has no indulgence given, except what comes to her from heaven. We eat little, we drink less. This earth breeds not our happiness. Another sun feeds our life streams. We are not warmed with thy beams. Thou measurest not the time to me, nor yet the space that I do see. My mind is not with thy light arrayed. Thy terrors shall not make me afraid. They've tortured. Leia's tortured by something, and she's angry, and it's all pointing to the fact that she's probably going after Lilith or someone else, or she's going to do something stupid like shooting up the whole building.
Sorry. As you're looking around, you do find a cup of coffee, and the mug is still warm.
Yeah, I think she just went out the window.
I want to go to that banging out in the back.
Yeah, it looks like there is an open window that leads to a fire escape.
Yeah, that's it. If we get there fast enough and look out, do we see her going at the bottom of the fire escape?
You do see a female figure like walking down the alleyway. You're not sure that's Leia, but it would make that would fit to the timeline.
Leia, we want to help. Or she's going to think, yeah, they're Blade Runners. They'll say that and then shoot me.
No response.
I shoot. No.
Okay. I mean, shit.
No.
We're might as well try to run down the stairs, but it's 5
Sure.
stories. It's going to
Go ahead and give me a mobility roll.
Okay.
Mobility. Define
Should
these each
be
time.
agility, mobility.
Oh, apparently
Sure.
I am not very agile.
Oh, okay. I'm decent. And D8. Oh, okay. That's a 7 and a 3.
So you surpassed me. I got a 3 and a 5.
I can
So-
push it if 2 successes feel like it might get me meaningfully close.
You got one.
Yes, I only got 1 success.
One's enough. So you
Okay.
you rush down and you get there fast enough to see a spinner rising up into the air. It seems that she still has her she still has a spinner of some kind that she managed to sequester in the meantime.
Am I quick enough to either snap a photo of it or at least memorize enough details to tip Fenna and Percy off?
Yes, you could point the spinner out.
Okay.
It actually looks like she stole one. Like she's stolen a spinner.
Mm-hmm. Fuck. Okay.
Well,
Yeah, I'm gonna call Fenna and Percy. Tell them to get ready.
She's on her way.
Yeah. Novak, do you think we can try and?
We can try. We know where we're going at least. So if she's going to the same spot, we'll get there a couple seconds after her, a couple minutes after her.
All right. And as we're rushing back to Novak's spinner, I want to ask, do you just want to tell Quell the problem was Tyrell?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, you're
that's
receptive to
definitely the
that?
problem.
I mean,
That Lilith-
she's about to get greased or close to it.
Should we call Tyrell and tell her? Holy
She's not
shit.
going to listen. But Quell seems like the one for Wallace calling the shots for these. And I at least want Leia to have a relatively clean slate.
All right, yeah. Let's get Quell on the phone.
Okay,
So
you're gonna call Quell?
Yeah, on our way.
Sure. Quell answers. She's like, yeah, report.
Yeah, this is Detective William Novak.
Yeah. Any updates?
We think we know what the problem is.
The problem
We
with
think
what?
The problem with the Leia unit.
I don't understand. Have you found Leia?
We have located her, but we think that you guys might have a problem. Leia's on her way to kill. We think she's on her way to kill Lilith Tyrell because of the memory that she was implanted with.
You think that she's going to kill Lilith Tyrell because of the memory that she has?
Yes.
Okay. That's noted.
We're on our way there to stop her, but she's going to get there before we do.
Thank you for the update. Take care of it.
I'm just going to hang up the phone. Fuck.
Yeah. At least we get I told you so points. I don't know. Fucking corpos.
It seems that they still want you to apprehend Leia.
Yeah, maybe we should tell Leia if we get up to her that the one she wants to go after is Quell.
Listen, I left the keys in my spinner. We can arrange a meeting with Quell.
Do you think that Quell is a robot? I mean, a replicant? She certainly doesn't seem to have any heart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, she doesn't have any heart because she's corporate.
Being a replicant has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Remember,
Maybe.
we are created in your image.
Yep, they should have left the asshole parts out.
Yeah, unfortunate.
So we've warned Fenna
Okay.
and Percival.
Do you want to do anything, Fenna and Percival, with the few minutes you have before people potentially arrive?
Yeah, well, I mean, we should take cover, get the drop on her.
Prepare. I don't. Percival, what is the plan here? Are we going to try to intercept her and talk to her?
I think we have to arrest her. If she's armed, she's going to shoot us first.
Well, then we need to be prepared for that too.
Yeah, I don't want to kill her, but
Can't let her get inside the building.
Got to get the gun away.
Right. Okay.
So, what's the outside look like? Is it like a helipad that we're landing on?
Well, yeah, there's like space for spinners to park outside. Then there's like the steps up into the memory lab, kind of like the one we see in the movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, we could move our spinner to the bottom of the stairs and take cover behind it. I'm not sure. I don't have a mind for battle tactics.
I don't either.
We think she's coming alone, right? It's not like this is a militia.
Correct. I don't think she's going to come quietly.
Yeah. We need to
You
be
can give
ready
me
to.
Give me an insight roll if you want.
Yeah,
I think
cool.
I just got an idea.
Okay.
Call us.
Yeah, I'm going to say, we found a postcard with a Hollywood sign.
Okay.
Why would she have a postcard with the Hollywood sign? Unless somebody handed
Okay.
it to her
You can also give me an insight roll, Novak.
to tell her where the way off the planet is. I'll do an insight roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was 2 3s.
I failed. I pushed twice.
Oh!
At the end, I came up on 2 1s.
Oh, right.
no.
So Fenna, take 2 stress.
Yes.
Where
Oh.
does that put you?
2. I had replenished
Okay.
all of my stress.
So you're at 2 left.
Yeah.
Fenna's worried about the shootout.
I got a 5 and a 4, so not.
Yeah, I'm radiating nervous energy.
Okay.
That's what I think. At least that's the only reason she's been told where to go to get off the planet. Unless it's something else.
There
but
was a phrase that was
Yeah.
mentioned that answers your question, but I won't remind you because you didn't. Nobody passed.
Where's my memory?
Did you push?
Oh, I can push. can't
Push.
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 Push it
I?
good.
What is it with
Yep.
pushing?
So
Uh,
reroll everything that wasn't a 1 or a
Okay.
6 or higher,
okay,
and tell me how many 1s and how many 6s or higher you got.
4 and a 3.
Snake eyes?
Okay,
Okay.
nothing. Is Novak secretly a replicant? If you can push again, no, I'm just kidding. We're not using those rules. A different game. Those rules will get used. All right, so, yeah, what do the two of you want to do? Set up the spinner in the front, or take a cover outside, inside? What's the plan? Are you telling Lilith what's going on?
That's
I think
my
somebody
plan
has
would
to
be.
warn Lilith.
Yeah.
She is a human being,
Yes.
no matter how evil she might be.
Do we though?
I mean, we could just poke our heads in and tell Terry that somebody's
Hmm.
like a terrorist is coming or something.
Don't want Terry to get hurt.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll inform. Yeah. Please tell Miss Tyrell that
So
a
what?
rogue replicant is on her way.
What are you telling her?
You reap what you sow, Miss Tyrell. A rogue replicant is on her way to seek justice for the mental trauma that you have caused her. I suggest you find some place to hide.
Leia's on her way here
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Yes.
And you see her turn and jump behind a number of like computer server things, like a stack, and just gets behind it.
So you're aware of how horrible the memories are that you gave her.
I mean, she just heard there is a rogue replicant Blade Runner after me.
Yep, she's got the skills.
Yep.
All right.
Oh.
So, who's driving between Novak and Backer?
I'm driving.
Novak, please give me an agility. Or wait, driving is this? Hold on.
Driving's its own thing.
So give me a driving mobility roll.
Oh, I see it. Okay. Driving and.
Oh wait, no, you're sorry. You're supposed to use your drive rating plus the rating of the vehicle, and we'll call the spinner a D10. So roll a D6 and a D10 for your vehicle plus driving test.
Oh, okay. I don't keep throwing them off the table.
Don't get stuck behind Grandma.
4 and a 5.
You want to push?
Push it.
Push it to the limit.
I will push it.
Your new robot friends need you.
I got a 9 and a 2.
Okay, so you are able to catch up to her a little bit. Yeah, you do some crazy driving. Backer, you are like gripping the like front of the spinner as like Novak like he goes up, he goes like past like oncoming traffic to like skirt through like a side passage and catch up to her. He almost killed you both in a midair collision, but catches up a little bit, and you arrive. Like you see the memory lab in the distance as you see her spinner touching down. So you see her getting out and just sprinting inside as you are landing the spinner yourself. So you are like right behind her.
Okay.
So for the two already in there. So did you decide to take cover inside or outside?
I was going to go outside. I think we need to stop her before she gets into the building.
I was going to park the car sideways at the bottom of the stairs.
Right.
Okay. So she's going to see that and pull her gun out and be like, and she's not pointing at you yet, but she's got it out. She says, all right, listen, nobody has to die here except the murderer of my daughter. Out of the way.
Leia, you have a way off the planet. Why are you trying to get yourself retired?
I have to get justice for my daughter. What she did to me, what she does to us, cannot continue like this.
But you know, you and I are replicants, Leia. You know that she's not your daughter. Put the gun down.
For all I'm concerned, she gave me a daughter and killed her. She's still the one who murdered my daughter. That's what it feels like. That's what it is to me.
It's her memory, Leia. She's the one that went through that. You're feeling her pain.
Why? If she really felt this, why would she ever subject anyone else to that pain? She made that memory. Maybe she's basing it off some bullshit that happened to her, but that was constructed just for me and for me to be the perfect little thing they wanted me to be. And I'm not having it.
Leia, you have to know how this is going to end. Instead, why don't you put your gun down, go home, and take your ride off planet? Because this is not going to end well for you if you continue.
And
Drop your weapon.
Why should I not seek revenge if it's right there for the taking?
Don't you want to live another day?
I want to see my daughter again, but that's not happening.
You know that's not going to happen.
We can't let you do it. I would come up behind her.
Yeah.
If we're there, then Backer's just going to say, be better than human. We seek revenge. She's gone.
The little girl in your memory, the one that you love, did have an assailant. There is justice to be had, but the person that spread the memory is not the one responsible.
All right.
I look around.
Go ahead.
I look around. Are we all being observed?
By what are you looking for?
The
There's
thing
gotta be
is
cameras.
that at the moment there's cameras everywhere and they're on us.
There's one. You're not sure if it's hooked up to the Esper wall, but the memory lab definitely has a camera.
fuck.
Why? Do you want to make there not be a camera anymore?
No. There's a recording of this whole thing. We can't let her go. If we let her go,
Unless you do something to
We
the
have
recording.
altered recordings.
yeah, but in this case, it's going right into the. I mean, there's. How are we going to get out of this at the moment without putting her down?
Kind of shoot the camera.
Yeah. Well, but besides, the camera just feeds into the memory lab. It's not hooked up to the Esper wall.
Sure.
It's a local security camera. So you're just gonna shoot the camera out of nowhere?
I'm just gonna say, hang on.
Ah!
Let's get some privacy.
All right. Someone give me a manipulation roll. You can add who's got who does anybody have manipulation other than Fenna?
Let me look.
Or an empathy rating of higher than C? Or is that higher of D?
No.
I have B
D.
empathy.
Okay, you can add Percival's B then for your because Percival's helping.
Take a D10.
Okay. Fuck's sake. Well, I got a 12 on one of them.
That's two. Okay, that's two successes.
I'll push it and see if I can roll the other two. They weren't ones, but they weren't
Okay.
doing me any favors. Those were ones. Come on.
Wait, how many ones?
2 ones and then a 12.
So you take 2 stress?
That's it.
Oh, right. Well, you give a very compelling argument, but as the words leave your mouth, please give me a D6 roll.
5.
Oh. I've seen things. You feel a strong urge to connect to somebody emotionally, to talk to somebody. It can be anyone around you. Roleplay this effect as appropriate. You cannot make any skill rolls, and you will not leave unless your life is in immediate danger.
Okay.
Well, that's going to change very quickly, but I mean, or it could change very quickly.
All right. You know what? I'm going to drop my gun, and I'm going to come at her with arms open and say, listen to me. I've lost people. You've lost people. Why not just take the chance and get the fuck off this rock? You were created to be a miserable person. Why not say, screw you and prove them all wrong? Get the hell out of here and leave. Don't look back. And I'm like trying to get closer, arms open. Like I'm trying to make this connection here.
I
hate it.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I said I hate it, but I guess you have a point.
Listen to me, if you give in, if you go in there and you shoot Tyrell, all you're doing is proving everyone that everything that they say about us is right. Those fucking assholes at Kill Magazine, the people that think we're nothing but, guns. That's what Tyrell just told me we were, guns, nothing else. You just prove them all right when you do things like that. Just leave. Get out of here. Find a better life for yourself. Isn't that what your daughter would want anyway?
I guess it's hard to think like that now, but all right. I'm getting out of here. But she looks at the two of you. She's Fenna and Percival, and she's like, if you want to get off this rock, you can come too.
Do what?
We've got sorry.
And as everyone begins to speak a little bit, you're all interrupted as you hear the distinct whirring of a spinner approaching. And that's when you all turn and see the missile and launch directly toward you all. So I believe that it's just Fenna near Leia at the moment. Fenna, please give me an agility mobility roll. And I will roll for Leia. see, because this is, usually something else happens, but the situation meant that this is what's going on this time. So
11 and a 4.
Could Olsen rush in to try and push them out of the way?
It's probably less than a second before the.
I'm assuming I cannot.
Unfortunately, not at the
reached my
distance you were at.
Okay.
I can't push once I've hit my resolve threshold, can I?
No, because technically you are still broken, actually, in your resolve. All right. So did you fail?
I got an 11.
Oh, okay. So you both Leia also jumps. You both narrowly avoid the blast of the explosion as this missile launches into you, and you see as the spinner opens and rappelling down are commandos in all black with Ender assault rifles. All right, everyone, please go ahead and roll me a d10 for initiative. Olsen, you can roll 2 and take the lower one. You're trying to get low.
Got a 10.
10.
You roll for
8.
1, baby.
Roll for. Oh wow. Okay. He has an eager beaver. All right. You got the 1 right, Olsen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then what everybody else get?
10.
8.
What'd you get, Percival?
8.
Oh, okay. 2 8s. Okay.
No, Novak got a 10.
Oh.
Got a 10. Percival got a 10.
Oh, okay. 2 10s.
No, I
Gotcha.
got 10.
Sorry, we talked at the same time.
No, you're good. All right. We'll just do. Poor Novak's old and slow, apparently going last. All right. So, Olsen, you are first. The combat veteran, of course.
Yeah, this is brought me right back. I don't know who these black-clad guys are.
There looks like there is 5 black-clad commandos that are rappelling down. They are pointing rifles at you and at Leia.
I'm shooting them.
Yeah, and they just fired a missile at that.
Yeah, because they just fired a missile at Leia and Fenna. I don't fucking care.
All right,
I am not thinking. This is
go ahead and
snapping
roll
your finger.
me an agility firearms roll.
Okay.
So in combat, so 1 success is you do a damage. 2 successes means you crit and you roll your weapon's dice.
Okay.
So you want to get 2 successes if you can.
Well, so since we're all in LAPD, do we know who these guys are? Is this Wallace or?
They are in all black with commando gear and Esper and Ender assault rifles. Not many people that have that kind of gear and ability to just deploy a spinner with missiles. So
yeah, but no uniform that we recognize. Gotcha.
Nothing identifying them as Wallace, but it's pretty clear. There's not many.
Yeah.
There's not many other groups that it could be.
Okay. I got a 9 and a 5. Can I push to
Push
shoot?
a 5. Yeah.
Okay. 8.
All right. So, and you're using the blaster, right?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and roll me. I believe the blaster
D12.
is a D12 crit. So roll that big D12.
11.
Okay. Yeah. So I believe. Pretty sure that's gonna kill anything that isn't anybody even a replicant. Yeah, so you headshot like one of the ones rappels down, brings his rifle up to point it at towards Leia and Fenna, and just you put one right between his eyes. That one drops dead to the floor. All right, next up is Leia, and Leia is probably going to so. It's the first turn, and she just got shot by a missile. She is going to roll to see what she does. Okay. So she glances over to you, Fenna, for real quick, and she gives you this look, she kind of just quickly nods at you, deal. She's like, all right, I like your offer. And you see her disappear. Like she runs over, and you see she starts like sliding down the hill like that the memory lab is on. Like she is going on foot, like getting out of town. Like her intentions are just to get out of here while you're dealing with the hit squad.
Yeah, cool.
Because she was like, hey, because you told her to just go, and so she's just good. She's taking what she's doing.
I mean, that was before she could have done suppressing fire, but okay, cool.
hey, you clearly have it handled. You already put one on the ground. So I mean, all right. Now it's the hit squad. So they're gonna fire some shots. The 4 of them that are still up. And they have, oh God. Okay. What? Oh shit. Okay. I gotta get my other D10 in the bag. All right. So the first one is going to be shooting at Olsen because you just took down one of his squad mates or their squad mates.
Allegedly.
Yep. All right. So the one of them pops you with the Ender assault rifle, and you take 1 damage because he just clips your arm. And then the second one is going to be shooting at Novak. Ooh, that is not. That's that. We don't like to see that. And oh wait. 4. Okay. Ooh, all right. Novak, you are shot for 7 points of damage. Is that your health?
That is beyond my health. I've only got 5.
Go ahead and roll me a d12.
10.
Well, the hit squad member brings up the Ender assault rifle and fires out a spray, and unfortunately one of the bullets pierces your heart, Novak, and you fall down dead because unfortunately a 10 on the critical injuries piercing table is a pierced heart. Not all the results are instant death. Some of them are, unfortunately.
But which one? I've got 2.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. There's some Time Lord shenanigans going on here. I didn't approve of this. All right. That unfortunately, there goes a Novak. The third one is going to shoot for Percy, first of all. That one misses. And then the last one is going to try and shoot at Fenna. And that one also hits for 1 damage. So one kind of like clips you in the leg as you're like trying to flee from the missile, and so you take 1 damage to your health. All right. So with that was their first round, and unfortunately Novak falls to the ground. Our first casualty, a veteran shot down in the line of duty. 1 mission away from retirement.
He was 3 weeks from retirement.
Just like Lethal Weapon, you know. Never say you're retiring soon. It's the quickest way to die. All right. That brings us to Percival.
I mean, wow, I was just talking to a girl a little bit ago. Can I just hop in this car I'm taking cover behind and drive into them? It's 4 dudes, right?
Okay, you know what? Give me an agility or drive roll, whichever's better for you.
Yeah, I'll take agility.
Yeah, agility, mobility, yeah.
Oh, and mobility? All right, cool. 1 and an 8.
Okay. That's a success. Roll me a d6.
All right, cool. 6.
All right, so you bash into one of them, and you hear this "oof" as like they get like launched, as like you you ram into their side. Like any regular person would be dead, but you see them kind of still moving instead of grumbling, trying to lift their rifle up. These are probably replicants, and very hardy ones, as that he is still barely standing. So he will attempt to do something from his crippled state on the floor. All right, Fenna.
Well, I have no gun. Is there anywhere to take cover?
Wait, why don't you have a gun?
Because I dropped my gun.
You put her gun down.
Oh.
But is she close to Novak?
You are close to Novak. Like you could pick up Novak's blaster or your sonic that you dropped.
All right, if I can do that, yeah. I think
Sure,
Novak's is better than mine.
Yeah.
He's the
Well,
runner,
I mean,
so
it's more lethal, but you know.
Yeah,
if you're trying to kill. Sure. So you like slide over, unfortunately, to poor Novak with the holes in his chest, and you were able to get his blaster. You'll make a shot.
Yes.
All right. Are you going to shoot for the wounded one or one of the fresh ones?
One of the fresh ones.
Okay.
So it's firearms and agility.
Yeah. So you're doing agility, firearms, and you want to try to crit if you can, because that actually lets you roll the weapon dice.
I can't push any longer. So let's see what my base roll will do.
Oh. Wait, no, you can't. I was gonna say you can. It's a physical push, but all pushes replicants do go to stress. You can't.
Okay. I'm trying to think before I start. I guess there's no way to talk to anybody. Like there's too much chaos. I'm assuming.
No, these people are not here to talk.
Okay, that's fine.
There is nothing but icy glare and gunfire from them.
No, 4 and a 3.
All right. So you unfortunately miss. All right, and then we come back around to Olsen. Okay. There's one on the ground and 2 still up.
I'm gonna ping one of the 2 that are still up and fresh. Fuck yeah. 9 and a 7. So that's going to inflict.
That is a crit. Yeah, go ahead and roll your d12.
Some death. Only 5 damage on that one.
All right, so that wounds another one. So another one, takes a hit, but it's still up.
Okay, and I want to try to get, if I can, just on the other side of the cruiser, since this is going to be a shootout.
All right. Leia will make a pot shot from the bottom of the hill.
Good for her.
Good over.
It's the thought that counts, really.
Thanks, girl.
Hey, and the one that you just shot, she takes the opportunity and puts another one in him, and he falls down to the ground. So she does take one out for you there with you. You then see it's now their turn. However, upon the second one dropping, the 2 wounded ones that are kind of like they see the seriousness of things. You can see that their spinner starts moving again, and it looks like it's getting ready to fire another missile. Do you want to take cover?
Yeah.
Okay. So the spinner moves to fire another missile. You all take cover. The missile, sinks in and hits the ground, but luckily you took cover. However, in the blast, you see the one that's wounded but not one from death runs over, picks the before you even realize what's going on, like kind of through the smoke, you see the one, kind of fireman carrying the other. He runs back over. They hop in the spinner, and the spinner takes off. So it seems that when they knew they were not winning the fight, they took their wounded and got out of dodge.
Well, you know what, Percival, I don't see much of a future here for either one of us.
Yeah, I roll down the window and say, guys, what the
Wallace
fuck just
Corporation.
happened?
Do we know how Leia's getting out? She offered us a way out, but no one told us how to get out.
I have
Hollywood
directions.
Yeah, Hollywood. Okay, yeah, let's.
Styles actually did, I think.
No, I was texted the dead drop thing, but yeah,
Oh,
I
you
just
were.
haven't
There's
really
that.
talked
That's
about that. Yeah, I have my own way, or we could just follow Leia. She's running down the hill.
Yeah, that's true. Backer.
Sorry for fucking up your career. You were real cool.
You want to get off planet with us?
Somebody's got to stay and clean up the mess. You 2 go.
What's wrong with you? They're gonna kill you. Let's go. Come with us.
All right. Might as well. I guess Hayden's going to be disappointed one last time.
So you're going to head out?
Didn't seem like that was going to last anyway.
Yeah.
Come on.
I might as well head out.
So, in that case, you're going to head out into the kipple?
Yes. Wherever it was that we knew.
Yeah, so...
drive down, pick up Leia.
The area sort of outside the city, the wrecked area, sort of the wastelands, around, the area of wrecked Las Vegas. That's all the kibble, all around LA. The Hollywood sign is actually the old Hollywood sign is actually included in that. So that is the landmark location that you're going to. So with the information that you have, you were able to head there. When you arrive, you can see that. But first of all, as approaching, you see that the old sign on Mount Lee is in terrible shape in 2037. Several letters, I think partly or completely, have fallen off. The slopes that are around it are now part of what's called the kipple. As I said, the vast areas surrounding Los Angeles that are covered in debris, and nothing really grows here. The slopes are bare, craggy rocks. The view over Los Angeles from here is breathtaking, though. Very beautiful. So yeah. You arrive, you see Leia and about 6 other men and women, seemingly in their late 30s. And Styles are all here. Styles kind of sees y'all's spinner set down and kind of looks worriedly, but upon seeing Fenna and Percival walk out, he's a little unsure at first, but kind of eases up. His eyes do kind of go to Olsen, though.
She's with us.
Olsen is carrying her wounded arm.
We all look like shit, yeah.
Yeah, Fenna's got like the soot Looney Tune stains over her face.
Hi, Styles. So something not too cool just happened?
Mind if we hitch a ride?
Leia kind of looks at him, he looks at her, he's like, not trying to be rude, but it's kind of replicants only.
Look, she was fighting for us before we were fighting for ourselves. Come on, man.
Oh no. You want to give me a manipulation roll?
Yes.
And I guess you can add an advantage for the bullet wound. That does add some credence to your case.
Oh, yes! 2 12s!
Hey, what? 4 successes? He's like, something about you. I don't know. All right. She can come. You ever been off-world?
Yeah. 2
Wait,
tours.
really?
Yeah, bud. I just hope to God that we're not going back to... what the fuck is the planet called? Calantha.
Yeah. Oh, no. We're going to Arcadia. You were on Calantha. Gee, I knew a guy that was on Calantha. Fuck.
Yeah. So,
Damn,
as long as it's
all right,
nicer
shit.
than that, we should be in for a good time.
Maybe I did misjudge you at first. I got some newfound respect for you. All right, well, everyone get aboard. It's we gotta go. It's time to go. I hope you brought everything because you're not gonna get a chance to come back for anything else.
I walk over to Percy and kind of put my hand on his shoulder, and I pat his coat pockets and find my hip flask and open it up to walk back in.
Yeah, and I'll take it back and take some, and then I'll hand it to Fenna.
I left my cat.
We'll buy you another one.
And it's actually rather upsetting because this really sweet moment is interrupted by the sounds of another spinner approaching. And Styles like, get the fuck in, everybody in, get in. And you are quite literally shoved inside the moon bus, and you take off like a rocket ship and speeding out of there as quick as you can to escape the hit squad, which is now trying to come back for seconds.
Sorry, I just felt like having a moment. Didn't know. My bad, guys.
Yeah. Sorry, please. As you are sailing, usually I would go around and have we would do epilogues. Is what I usually do for the end of these games. Unfortunately, Novak is deserving of an epitaph, not an epilogue. But the rest of you, I'd love to hear any thoughts you're sharing with each other as you're flying away, and then maybe a bit about what your characters' plans are when you get to Arcadia. Any ideas, hopes, thoughts they're feeling, any big things that they're coming to terms with and kind of struggling with still, or thoughts they're having, rather than a traditional epilogue. So we'll just go around real quick. So Fenna.
I think the flask is going around, and for Novak, I may not care very much for humans, but he was one of the good ones. I'll toss it back.
And one of them is like, hey, I don't mean to spoil the moment, but I'm pretty sure that Novak, and then another one's like, no, it's not important right now. Don't, that's not right now, dude. It's like, I'm pretty sure that a number of my friends were killed. Shut up. And so you all toast Novak. There's a little, some people are like, huh? But others are like, yeah. Cool. Does Penna have any plans yet for Arcadia?
I'm gonna try to find Rada.
Oh, I love that. Great, yeah. Percival.
Well, so Percival has been waiting this whole time to get a moment with Leia. And he's just gonna come right out and say, like, you were haunted by your memory. Mine wasn't too good either, and it was about you.
What?
Yeah, we were friends. We grew up together. A building collapsed and I couldn't save you.
There's like a moment that kind of takes to process, and like a tear falls down her face. She's like, fuck, I'm so sorry. And she like goes to like hug you.
Yeah. Percival hugs her back and says, like, the memories aren't real, but they definitely feel it. And it's okay for you to have the emotions that you've been having, but we're out of there now.
Yeah, I'm glad that we are. I'm sorry that I had to be that person for you. I can't imagine what pain that must have brought. But I know how you feel.
I'm just glad that you didn't end up dead when you were making some bad decisions.
Thanks, me too.
Mm-hmm. And as far as the future, I think Percival's gonna hit up Backer on a buddy cop shenanigans. So she's the muscle, he's the brains.
Oh my god. There's a new buddy cop duo on Arcadia.
We're in person. Back in town.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. All right, and then Backer.
So I think after doing the toast to Novak and seeing all of the reps sort of like in that adrenaline excitement, like just nearly escaped death, but also going to, I'm just going to lean my head back and let myself relax for the first time. In a way, I'm kind of letting myself die. I'm letting my key item is my brother's tombstone, my partner, my life, everything back on Earth, and trying to just let go of all that baggage. Once we get to Arcadia, she only has so many skills, most of which involve punching and or kicking. So
let's use them for good.
Yeah, I think that she'll just sign up to do sort of local security around, but very much like this is just retirement in the sunset years. And as in the midst of the Backer and Percy buddy cop shenanigans, I'm going to save up some money and have just an epilogue scene where she rings Fenna's doorbell and has a large ragdoll, fluffy animoid cat.
Aww.
And hands it over to her.
It's great.
And I just like hold this cat in my arms for a bit before just going in and hugging Backer, which I'm sure Backer hates, but you're getting the hug anyway.
She's definitely like does that awkward like, oh, what do? Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, so with some great flash forwards of what's to come, do you all? I guess as we do our little final pan out, is there anything you say to each other as you're soaring beyond, like soaring towards the moon?
It really sucks that Novak's out. He was starting to come around.
Yep.
It's yeah. I'm gonna be pretty upset about that for a while.
It's all right. They probably wouldn't have let him on anyway.
Yeah.
I kind of almost miss him a bit.
He kind of worked his way into a corner, I guess. There wasn't too many options for that old man.
I think I've got to find Rada. I think she's there.
Yeah, I hope you do.
Novak's last thought.
Yeah, I was actually about to go to you. I was like, if we could hear from Novak one last time.
Yeah, the camera goes to an aerial of his body and zooms into his open eye.
What would he say if he could?
The last thought that I had, well, actually the very last thought I had was, he who hesitates is lost. Because just before that, I had worked out a way I could save everybody. You remember I looked around to see if there were cameras? Oh. I was going to start shooting at Leia, purposefully missing. But we could have chased her down the hill. She could have gotten away, and we would have all looked like we were trying to get her. And then I got shot.
Novak, you had it all worked out.
And you got shot and rolled a 10 on the damn piercing table.
I was like, damn it.
You froze because, wait, this wasn't in the plan?
It's actually kind of mean, too. 8 is instant death. 9 isn't. 10 is instant death. 11 isn't. 12 is instant death. It's like brutal. It's like Minesweeper. You're like just like dodge those odd numbers.
I had thought that if we had gotten away and we'd made it look like we were chasing her, then we could then turn around and try to expose Wallace for what they were up to.
I don't think that was ever going to happen.
No, but
I was going to give her my sidearm as I have a second smaller pistol and make it like I put her in the cruiser and was driving, and then just say like, let it go off. Please don't kill me. And so it looked like I didn't pat her down right and let her escape.
Yeah. John, that was a fantastic game.
Thank you. I'm glad you all really enjoyed it. I love this game. It's so much fun to run. Thank you for being a wild and crazy group. I love that I've run this 4 times now, and every time it has gone vastly different ways. Y'all are the first to actually get on the moon bus, so thank you for doing that. Some groups didn't even go to the moon bus, either because they had no reason to, or they didn't know it existed, or we just didn't have time because it was a con game.
Didn't have any choice in this case.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we had time to like do everything out, and like y'all really got to like everything. Like you got almost all the like really like you got kind of all the important clues and put all the pieces together. And so I'm glad we had time to do that, and y'all got to experience the moon shot and stuff. From that extra little optional extra scene. So that's a fun one. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Yeah,
I was trying so hard not to interrupt, but I can only imagine Fenna's like 2 double crit 12s was just like the most convincing. Come on, man.
I'm pleased because there were at least 2 or 3 moments in this game where I suddenly was like, oh crap, I know what it probably means.
Oh, I still remember the first game whenever like I was in all caps in chat, be like, holy shit, she killed Sandor. Like this had so many good twists.
God damn it. I was like, damn it. Yeah, I was like, he's good.
Dang it, Bobby.
It's like, all right, you figured it out. Now figure out why.
Our players included Holly Buto, Kaylin McDowell, Dr. Lex Hurley, and myself with John Dos Passos as the game runner. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of the Blade Runner role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.